Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pause Menu Podcast. We are your haven away from the busy struggles of life and all that jazz. I'm your host, Oscar. I'm joined by some familiar faces, as we've seen before, but that doesn't mean they can't shout themselves out again. So, fellas, I'd like to give you guys a little shout out. Introduce yourselves for the one time.
Well, I was here before, but just to remind you, I'm Simon. You can find me on YouTube as Sparple. I'm back on to talk about more gaming stuff. That's about it.
I am Kelechi. You probably saw me in the other episodes. Oscar probably tagged my Instagram, but yep, happy to be here.
What's up, y'all? Sam here again. You've probably already seen my socials, and if you haven't, well, too bad. I guess you'll see them later. And yeah, we here talking about games.
Rock on, rock on. All right, so we've got a couple of really cool topics lined up for you guys. It's been a pretty solid week for gaming, as I'd say. But we'll jump right into them. So, first off the bat, Nintendo finally did their Nintendo Direct. It ended up being
Kinda.
yeah, it ended up being a partner showcase. But it's Nintendo Direct, so Nintendo Direct. Got some games, some cool announcements out of it.
Very happy about Star Wars Battlefront. Very happy.
That'll be
There's some
exciting.
good stuff.
Needed that.
There was some good stuff for sure. I guess start us off. I had a couple things that I was really interested in. I know they got the SMT5 DLC.
I think that's gonna
I
be
saw
cool.
that.
Yeah.
It's gonna make me actually finish that game.
As I said, might propel me to finish the game. We don't know. But I got SMT5 in launch, so it'd be really nice for me to, spin the block, as the kids say.
I want another Steelbook very badly, so I can have two Steelbooks of the same game.
Exactly.
I have not actually picked up SMT5 yet, so I
Shame.
think, you know what? You're right.
Did you play through 4 in the 4 Apocalypse, or was it just 4?
Just 4.
Oh, okay, got you.
I played through 4. I actually got the neutral ending, which is considered the best and the hardest ending to get on a first time / blind playthrough. Not to brag or anything. But yeah, so I didn't really feel a need to replay 4, at least not at the time, because neutral ending kind of covers a lot of the content.
I got you. Isn't 4 Apocalypse a lot different though?
I don't know, actually.
I think it is.
I think
from what I've heard.
Yeah, I think there's some differences in 4 Apocalypse, but that's not a question for me.
I got you.
Point is that 5 Vengeance is definitely going to be the version that I pick up. What I'm worried about is I know that the way they're doing it is there's going to be 2 different storylines. There's going to be the main games, and then there's going to be the Vengeance storyline.
Yeah.
And I want to know if the Vengeance storyline is going to be different enough to warrant playing through the game twice over.
I mean, the producer pretty much came out and said, yeah, the story for the first one was kind of cheeks, so the Vengeance storyline is us actually going all in.
Okay, then I'm just going to play the Vengeance storyline.
I'm really looking forward to being able to compare the two, because I want to play through the original one before I play Vengeance, you know what I'm saying?
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like doing that game twice over, especially if one of the stories is kind of not that great. But I don't know. That's about my 2 cents on it. Is I'm just looking forward to it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't buy it when it first came out. Now that Vengeance is coming out.
Rock on. Yeah. There was a couple of indie titles too. They were pretty solid. Penny's Big Breakaway was probably the big one for me.
Oh yeah, you played that, right?
I sure did. Yes, and it was developed by the Sonic Mania devs.
Yeah.
Did not know, but I very much, picked up on it eventually. I was like, okay, this makes sense, because kind of felt like the devs going, what if we just made Studiopolis Zone and turned it into the entire
3D.
game?
Yeah.
So that sounds like a
I
vibe,
got you.
actually.
So it was really cool.
How did it feel to play?
The physics were really weird, honestly, in my opinion. Because the game was really interesting to me, because the moment I finished it, I wanted more. The game, it's not like it was too short or anything, but I was just like, oh man, I kind of wish there was more. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got you.
But the physics kind of felt a little weird, but when it was going, it was going. So
was it a fast paced kind of 3D platformer, or was it?
I feel like it's meant to be speedrun low key. So,
Oh,
or
okay.
it will feel comfortable in the hands of speedrunners, and especially that shines through with this level design as well. So a lot of different mechanics, the main character Penny, she has a yo-yo, and so it's she can ride on it, she can do all these different tricks and stuff. So there's you can easily build up some speed. Sometimes your speed is easily killed.
Yeah, But it's is it a game that wants you to keep your momentum going, kind of a thing?
It does. But like a lot of things they throw at you sometimes can like easily stunt it if you don't know how to get around it. So so I mean, it's not like it will just constantly like feed it to you. But
okay, I got you.
You know, it's I like the game a lot. I thought it was really good. I think that it's kind of a rough draft of something in a way. But I liked playing through it. But it's just one of those things where I
feel like there's probably more they could have fleshed out.
Yeah, there's more they could have fleshed out. And like I like looking at these games this way because like obviously with an indie studio, like I feel like that criticism matters more because like they're not going to sell 1 billion copies. So I mean, like they're not gonna be like, oh well, the game isn't great, but we sold 1 billion copies. That's not really gonna happen with an indie company. So like giving that feedback to them is something that I really liked a lot, which is why like they currently have like out of all the reviews I've done this year on my backlog, they have the longest review that I have on my backlog. Yeah. So
I feel like there's
cheesy and snarky with it.
I feel like there's been like an influx of a lot of like movement 3D like platformers recently, between like that, between like what is it, Sparky 3 or whatever. Like I know that I picked up that game on Steam, I haven't played it yet. I know you got Pseudo Regalia.
I love Pseudo Regalia. You got that for me.
Yeah, it's like
this week. Not this week, last
was it
week?
Something like that, right?
It was last week now.
What's Pseudo Regalia about?
So I don't really know a lot about what's going on in the plot, but
give us the genre tags.
3D platformer Metroidvania.
Already sold.
Yeah.
Already sold.
And it kind of goes for a retro style, like the N64.
Yeah. It was like reminding me of that N64 PS1 kind of era.
Yeah. But what I love so much about Pseudo Regalia, and I was already telling this to you, Sam, yesterday. So in a lot of Metroidvanias, at least from my experience, I haven't played a ton of them. But stuff like Hollow Knight, you get a few movement options as you progress, stuff like the dash or maybe a double jump or a wall jump. But Pseudo Regalia, almost every single thing you get is a movement option.
Kind of love that.
So the tutorial starts you out with a little low slide, and you're like, okay, this isn't much, but this is a mobility option. It helps me in combat. And it's like, eventually you unlock ability to do a long jump out of that slide. Eventually you unlock an ability to do a high jump, a wall kick, a wall slide. So it just kind of keeps building and giving you more reasons to keep moving. I love that. It gives you time to be familiar with the options you have.
Gotcha. It's kind of like figuring out stuff in like Mario Odyssey or like in Super Mario 64. The long jump or like the backwards jump, or you start chaining like the cappy throws and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing with Mario Odyssey was, while you could get to some really like impressive places, and the devs definitely knew that, there wasn't a lot of times that was really necessary, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a tricky thing for some people to do, especially if they didn't know what they were doing. But Pseudo Regalia kind of takes your hand and makes you learn all of its moveset piece by piece. So by the time you look across that room and you're like, pretty sure I can get over there, you actually have a very solid idea of how to get over there.
Love that.
And I've actually managed to do a little bit of sequence breaking.
You were talking about that the other day.
Yeah. I was at the point where I only had the long jump and the high jump. And what I had realized was I could cancel my high jump to do a little mini backflip. So I took advantage of that to kind of further explore the area. And after I got down, I slid down to pull, and there was just a huge room with a bottomless pit. And I'm like, pretty sure I'm not supposed to be here yet. So I decided I needed to turn around and go back. But by that point, I couldn't because I had sequence broken my way there.
Oh, I got you.
And I ended up dying, but I got pretty close to getting out.
That's actually really cool, though.
Yeah. It's just fun. The movement is just fun. My one criticism is I think it needs a map. Like, I don't need to know where I am at all times, but just like some kind of map that shows how everything is connected.
Yeah, it is cool though how it's like another like platform in the space that's doing different things. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we've definitely been seeing a lot more of that in the indie scene like recently, which has been really cool.
Yeah.
What about you though, Oscar? What were you like? We know that you played the Penny's Big Break, right? Is that the name of the game?
Yeah, Penny's Big Break.
What other things did you like from the direct or the partner showcase? I guess.
So, one thing I liked from the showcase as well was The Battlefront collection was good, especially as someone
Definitely needed that,
I think I
bro.
only played the Battlefront like remake or whatever they did, like
Like in
during the
2017 or
PS4.
2018.
Yeah,
Yeah,
PS4
we got to get you
collection.
on the original, man.
But I mean, yeah, that one looked looked good. D5.
Monkey Ball.
New Monkey Ball.
Monkey
Yeah,
Ball
forgot
does look
about
cool.
that.
Oh, man.
Especially because like I've always had this weird relationship with Monkey Ball where it's like I see it in like every single avenue except like a
Literally.
home console.
Yeah.
And so like I play it in every single avenue except the home console, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty fun.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
right?
but
But I've
like,
never
you know,
bought a Monkey Ball
But I've
game
never
for
like
me.
picked up
My-
a Monkey Ball game.
Every
so.
time I think about Monkey Ball, I think about those little consoles at your McDonald's play place.
Yo,
what I mean?
that takes me
Or
back,
Chuck E.
man.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
Chuck E.
never
Cheese is a
seen
different one.
Monkey Ball
Like, out and
outside of one
about.
of those things.
Yeah. I was literally just thinking, I'm like, would I pay $60 for a Monkey Ball game?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Probably never in my life.
Maybe 30.
Like,
30.
see, that's
Sorry
what I
for
was
all the
saying.
Yeah.
$60 Monkey Ball people. So
I'm sorry,
It's
bro.
not,
It's like I'm not gonna pay $60 for Katamari Damacy. I'm sorry, bro. I'll play it. Don't get me wrong. I'll play it at a friend's house. You can buy it for me. But like,
Yeah.
I'm not spending $60 on that. I'm glad that we're getting another one though, for sure. You know, the director had like a surprising amount of cool little things
Yeah.
here.
It wasn't
The-
bad.
What did you think about that one, the little game where it's like you're like sliding,
That was really
like the paper?
interesting.
It would look like you're on paper and you're like sliding across the
Oh.
blocks or whatever.
It looked cool. It looked cool. Like obviously, there's just certain things like that one. Like I noticed, I was like, okay, that'd be cool to pick up. I like that one, and then what was it? It was a Disney like Mickey Mouse like.
Oh yeah,
Was it-
Epic Mickey, right?
Is that
yeah,
a, is
yeah.
that, is
I
that,
think it's a port. Is
It
it?
wasn't out no,
It's a
I think
on
it's
the
a,
Wii
I
U?
think it's a
It's a
straight up remake
oh,
of the
is
one
it
on
a
the
remake?
Wii.
It used to be on the Wii.
Oh, it was on the
Wii.
Wii. Oh, I thought it was on
I
the
was
Wii.
gonna say.
The 6th generation of
Okay. I'm about to say, I'm like, yo, I remember the game. I always wanted to play that.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing ads for that all the time. That was
Yeah.
one of those games I wanted but
Exactly.
never got.
Literally. I thought that was really cool. I saw Grounded. Now that was a game I was like, oh,
Which one was that one?
It was like-
wait, which one is that one?
I think it was the
Wait,
one
is that
where
the one where you're like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, the game? Was it
Yeah,
that one?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that one looks scary though, bro. They're really big.
I'm pretty
bugs and
sure.
scary.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure they have like arachnophobia settings in that game. So,
You're right. I
Correct.
did
Yeah.
see that. Shout out Luke.
so what you can do is if you're afraid of the spiders, you can like dial it down and it'll make the spiders look less and less realistic to the point you can. I think they can go to the point where it's literally just like a sphere for the head and a bigger sphere for the body, and that's their spider.
I like it. We need more accessibility options like that. But that's dope. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're feeling grounded.
Yeah.
Game of the year 2024.
Maybe I don't know, no. but it's not bad. This overall the direct wasn't. It was solid.
It was
wasn't
cool
bad.
as far as like stuff
Has
that the
some- has some
partners are
gems.
doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. You know, I thought it was as a first direct of the year.
Yeah.
It's definitely solid, especially because we're definitely ramping into kind of that next generation.
Oh, for
of the
sure.
Switch. So
I mean,
speaking of
go for
next
it.
generation with the Switch, Switch 2.
Yeah, it's all but
it's
confirmed
not
at
been
this.
revealed.
It's all but confirmed
It's
at this
not been
point with
revealed.
all the third-party
I might-
It
reports.
said 2025.
I might put the
Early.
title in here as clickbait, but it's not. It hasn't been confirmed.
You've been fooled. You've been had.
You are an idiot for clicking on this.
Yeah, if
think
you got
there's-
into this, then rip. But
I think they're talking about 2020. It's probably gonna come out.
yeah,
2025.
so that's so rumors have stated that Nintendo's delaying the release of the
Yeah.
Switch 2, and people are not excited about it. People thought that the Switch 2 would come out Q4 2024, probably, at least in time for the holidays.
Yeah.
And people are questioning this, saying, "Why would Nintendo release a console after the holidays?" Like, blah blah blah.
Release the Switch in March. So I mean,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I will say though that although it makes sense in a way. 2 + 2 = 4. But it's one of those things where I personally believe that we can handle another year of the Switch. I think this
Yeah.
direct showed us that
fine, yeah.
maybe there may not be the blockbusters coming out for it, but
A lot of games for it.
I think only good things can come out of the Switch 2 getting delayed, especially for its launch lineup.
Yeah.
There's another thing, too, because another report came out that said that Hi-Fi Rush and Metroid Prime are looking to be launch titles for the Switch 2.
I did see that.
So, rumors.
Okay.
So,
Allegedly.
yeah, as I say,
Allegedly.
Take them
That'd
with
be
a-
really
take them
cool.
with a grain of salt.
That'd be really cool
But,
if it was.
I think that would be really dope,
Mm-hmm.
primarily because I have told other people before that the Switch 2 just needs to nail its launch lineup.
Yeah.
For people to actually pick it up. And I also think another thing too is that Nintendo might be drawing it out because the Switch is like 11 million units away from like dethroning the PS2. So
I can see that happening though.
So,
I
You
can
think that's
see-
what it is?
I don't know if I'm gonna go that far.
that's probably not the only reason. So like Nintendo wouldn't just discontinue the Switch the moment the Switch
Exactly.
drops. It would slow down
It's gonna be
Switch
like a
sales
3DS
significantly.
thing, yeah.
But like, I think Nintendo is comfortable with where they're at right now. So especially it lends credence to their executive meeting where they were like, the Switch will continue to be our main business going into 2024.
How do you feel like Nintendo's like wind down like I guess like process is gonna be for the Switch to Switch 2 compared to the Switch and 3DS? Because the 3DS felt like they said it was gonna go on for a while, but then they were just kind of like, just kind of cut it without really saying it out loud, you know?
We said Switch and 3DS and not Switch and Wii U, even though it would have been
Damn, he's right.
Wild.
Sorry, Miyamoto.
It's kind of funny. The Wii U literally got discontinued in like November of 2017.
Yeah,
or something.
dude.
So, which was like,
Hey, no way.
And the 3DS
Well,
internet
let me
is
say
getting
though,
discontinued.
the Switch literally passed
Oh, wow.
the Wii U's lifetime sales 8 months in. So
Literally.
it was like, all right, well,
Farewell.
Yeah.
Old Yeller and him taking him out back behind the bar, man.
especially because it was so funny because I just watched a Scott the Waz video. Shout out Scott the Waz. I just watched a Scott, I think Scott Stash video actually, of around the time when the Switch came out, and Nintendo was like ad stuff going for, like he had some pamphlets from like 2017 back when it dropped, and you know how like they were like, oh, the Switch is like this thing alongside the 3DS and Wii U. And it's
Nah,
like,
I remember them saying that verbatim.
I remember
Was it
that
Reggie
too.
who said
Yup,
that?
remember
I think Reggie said they were going to continue supporting the 3DS.
I think Reggie said that where it's
I
like,
was
oh,
like,
yeah,
no, you're
like,
not.
this is like the third pillar. Like, it's like, no.
No, this is the whole business,
It's
Reggie. This is the whole business.
This is the whole business.
This is the foundation.
It's funny too because I was at a local game store, and the owner and I were talking about the fact that, Sony can't really compete in the handheld market because before a Nintendo console and Nintendo handheld were so distinct that people could justify getting both of them.
Yeah.
But people couldn't really justify the same thing with like
With Sony.
a PlayStation versus a PlayStation Portable or like
Yeah.
because like they're so similar and like Vita games are basically just console games with on the go, whereas like a game developer, the 3DS and the DS are like
very specific to
dedicated
that
the
system.
DS and the
Exactly.
DS, like,
Mhm.
What was that? It was developed by Sony, but like you can't play it outside. It was like that little
the
like,
Portal, basically.
Oh,
Yes, the
no,
Portal.
are you talking?
Yeah,
oh,
that just came out recently.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was recent. But like,
Bro.
do you know how? A side note comment, but do you know how it's going? Like, I don't know. If
I
people
mean,
really,
the sales are probably okay. But
Yeah, the
it's
sales
like,
are probably all right. I have not seen a
we could
single
look it up
person
into it
say
later,
that-
but it's
yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
but
Not seen a
the
single person
overwhelming consensus when I heard it
say,
like
"Let me
drop
turn on
was
that PlayStation
See,
Portal."
that's the thing. It's just like, dog. It was just like, why
I don't
do
know.
I need this that
exactly.
badly?
I was like,
That's the
It's
thing.
mostly just like
Okay.
for casting. Like they want to
I
be in that
guess.
space where it's like, oh, like this is a companion to your PS5.
Yeah, exactly. This
like,
is
like if you want to play your PS5 game somewhere else, it's
in
like,
your bedroom,
First
you
off,
know?
the PS5 has no games, so why would I play anywhere else? Second, like, it just feels dumb to me because I've never had the urge to play God of War in my,
Literally.
And it's
my
like
kitchen,
with
so,
all the things you could do with
like-
that money and that hardware and that time developing, you could have spent all that getting more PS5s into the hands of people.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
Slims.
like,
I mean, yeah,
PS5 is 60 million units. I mean, like, it's not bad 4 years in. So
yeah.
it's got
Finally,
another 4 years left.
Finally.
yeah.
It's got another 4 years left. So I mean, so if it continues at this
Mm-hmm.
pace, that'll be 120. So
I mean, I'll consider it impressive when I have enough reason to buy one. Let me put it that way.
yeah, like
kind of fair, kind of fair.
yeah.
Leaving
Get-
themes
getting-
behind was a mistake, but yeah, we're getting off topic here.
I think the Switch 2, like keeping it
Mm-hmm.
alive is. I feel like I'm more so hinting at the fact that I think the discourse is dumb because the
Discourse
Switch,
on what specifically?
the people thinking the Switch literally can't survive another year of being on show.
Oh yeah, that's
It
silly.
can't
Because people are just
survive
like,
another
this is
year.
so outdated, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude,
Oh my
like,
god.
So you were 24 on Twitter, and you were not the primary consumer of
don't-
Nintendo products.
first off, I don't think this might be different for other people. But I'm of course excited for games. I literally picked up a game after the showcase because I was like, this Shadow dropped today. I'm getting it now. But like, there's nothing in 2024 that I'm really like, oh my goodness, I need this thing, and I have a countdown ready for this thing right now. Don't get me wrong, it's like it's February. It's the end of February. But like, I feel like Nintendo has all the time, especially because like Nintendo releases, like they're not. I don't think Nintendo has really announced a game that is dropping like 2 years after they announce it or a year after they announce it. They don't really do that like other studios.
Yeah.
It's mostly like this game is coming out at the end of the year or like
usually
in like 4 months.
Or it'll be like you can expect it like early next year if it's like if they're announcing it in like October or September.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I'm saying?
max a year. Tears of the Kingdom was an exception, but they
something
back
like that.
though.
That's what I was saying.
So it's like that's different.
They
That's
kept
always
giving like.
development was.
I remember there being countless Nintendo Directs where at the very end there was like, and a quick PSA from the director from Zelda. He's like, I'm so sorry. I've
Seeing
let you
Anuma's-
all down. We need to delay this game again.
Seeing Anuma's face with him just standing up and being like, "Yup, y'all know what I'm here for." And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
It was worth it in my opinion. All those delays.
yeah.
I mean, just hearing stuff from developers about that, I think is dope. I love that.
Something. Rush game is bad forever.
Whoa,
Delayed game
that's my
is bad.
favorite Nintendo quote. Just wave at people.
I think someone. I don't even know. Did Miyamoto even say that?
I don't think he did.
We need someone to fact check that, bro, for real.
That like people attribute to so many bad things. It's like the.
It's like the Miyazaki quote about anime being bad or anime.
Yes,
and you know what's
yes,
funny about that?
yes.
Do you know what he was talking about? He was
he talking
talking about anime from his childhood in the 50s. Bro said that in like the late 70s, 80s. He was saying at that point anime was already garbage.
I love
Think
that.
about
What?
that. In a pre-Cowboy Bebop world, this is not the podcast for anime, so I'm not going to get into that. But it's like,
That's
like
wild.
dog.
That
But
is
people,
wild,
people
though.
will say he was talking about isekai. He
Yeah,
wasn't, bro.
the-
He wasn't, bro.
The audiences overlap, so I think it's fair. But like, dog, it's just
It's
so
hilarious.
funny.
He did not say that in 2004. He did not say that in 2017, y'all. He said that in like the 80s.
I
Chill
can't
out.
It's
even-
like that one Karen Pokemon quote where it's like strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon. Trainers should try to win with their favorites. Now the entire competitive scene, not the competitive scene, the entire anti-competitive scene has been like, see, this is why you shouldn't do Choice Specs Kyogre with Pokemon.
I know.
She literally was just talking about people like Team Rocket or whatever. Like, she's
Yeah,
not talking
literally.
about the meta competitive scene.
I will say though, I do like watching those team building videos where someone actually like tries to take their favorite Pokemon and build a team around them. Like I think
My favorite Pokemon, my favorite meme is literally like, you should win with your favorites. Okay, my favorites are Landers, T, and
That's funny.
my favorite Pokemon just so happens to be Zacian Crown.
Yeah.
and Mega Rayquaza.
But as I was saying, I think Moxie Boosted, he's a competitive Pokemon channel, and he built an entire Honchkrow team based around the Honchkrow having
actually
like
really dope,
yeah,
yeah.
he built it around like the Honchkrow having super luck and Night Slash, so he was basically a critter, and that's all I remember about the video. It was kind of neat. That's all I have to say.
That's cool.
Um,
I'm definitely an advocate for it. Just play whatever Pokemon that you like.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to play competitive, just have a competitive team.
Exactly.
Like that's what I used to do. Like I'll have a competitive team. Like and then I'll have. This was like in black and white. That was the only last time I played really competitive for real. But
when
He was
anything
Eevee and
goes
Ivy
was
training.
true. When anything goes was a thing, I used to be like, I'm gonna take my playthrough team and make them as viable as possible. I always stayed within this certain area of the ladder, which was bad. But like, it was always fun to me when somebody would like roll up with a team they actually like invested in, and I was like, contrarian superior. So boom. Every time I use Leaf Storm, I get buffed up 2 times. So, but yeah, so that's a little off topic. But overall, I wanted to say that sometimes gaming discourse is dumb. I think this is dumb gaming discourse.
People, I think, are harping
I
too
think
much on the idea of the Switch is bad when it's just like.
Don't get me wrong. The Switch has pee-pee poo-poo hardware.
I mean,
It does.
yeah, but
It
like,
does.
I think
it's an Android tablet with Joy-Cons
basically.
on the side.
But it's like I'm really excited for the
Don't get me
Switch
wrong,
2,
man.
and I feel like Nintendo is not going to just like slow down the production of the Switch that much when the Switch 2 comes out.
No.
I feel like it's going to be a way longer period
Yeah.
before they start really slowing it down.
They may drop the price though.
I think they
I think
probably
Maybe
that's
like
will.
$100.
Mhm.
$100.
I mean, here's I'm just saying they dropped the Switch Lite to $100, regular Switch to
Okay.
$200,
Okay.
maybe $250, something like that, and then like Switch OLED and then Switch around the same price. So what, $350? Easy, $350, maybe $300, maybe $300, easy.
I think they got to kill out that Switch maybe within a year or two, low key.
I
It
don't
might
know.
cannibalize sales.
I don't know if it
It
will.
depends.
You think?
Well, actually, no. Software moves hardware, so never mind. My fault.
And I feel like by the time that they say, hey, you can only play Metroid Prime 4 on this Switch too, and everyone's going crazy on Metroid Prime 4, you know what I'm saying?
Like third-party devs and indie devs will still release games for the Switch.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
But I mean, like, as long as Nintendo EPD is like, hey, this game is only on the Switch too. So.
Exactly. I just wonder, like, how much of it is going to be like a new 3DS situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like I know that they're going to market it well enough so that you'll know the differences between the Switch and the Switch 2. I just wonder what those differences are going to be in order to make it more marketable.
That's what I was asking too. I agree. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that I read a random Wikipedia article, like I normally do. I read a random Wikipedia article on the Wii U, and apparently Nintendo rigorously studied the pitfalls they fell into with the Wii U's marketing, to the point where they're like, we cannot repeat this with the Switch.
That is so real.
I think they have learned those lessons, and they won't do it again.
Yeah.
My only thing is, though, is that I'm afraid because we kind of have the Nintendo cycle since, like, the GameCube, where it's like failure, booming success, changed gaming success.
Exactly.
Failure, booming, changed gaming success.
That's the thing.
I was like, I'm low-key worried, especially because the things where it's like, the Switch 2 is going to have an LCD screen.
See, that's not the worry for me.
It's going to be smaller than the Switch is, though.
No way.
That can't be true.
There's no way. The thing is already this small.
Well, that was from like a Tokyo analyst or something. I was like,
what?
I don't know, man. I don't know. See,
yeah, we do reputable, sources.
Our sources are not in the description. They're not anywhere.
They're not in the description.
Don't ask us about them.
And we mentioned them very vaguely.
If you ask for sources, I'm going to send you a Wikipedia link to chairs. Literally. And just have you assume that's the real source.
But I don't know. I feel like going off of what you said about them, like, balancing out from the Wii U, I think seeing the success of the Switch, because Nintendo's weird, right? Sometimes they like being really experimental, and then we get stuff like the DS, or even like the Wii U itself was pretty experimental. But then it feels like they went from one experiment to an experiment they were pretty sure was going to work, which was the Switch. And now I'm just wondering how much they're going to see innovating as worth it versus like just maintaining what they already have. Because again,
Game Freak's head didn't believe in the Switch.
Yeah.
Who didn't? Game Freak's head didn't believe in the Switch because he thought phone gaming was the future.
Yeah. And it's wild because it's like, I mean, again, like,
wild.
Wait, why are we just saying Game Freak had Masuda? Masuda said that.
No, I don't even think it was Masuda.
I was 90% sure Masuda, because the moment you said he believed phones were the future, I was like, that's literally
Masuda. Don't get me wrong.
Where he's like, games need to be easier because children can just play on their phones or whatever.
Games need to be easier.
Don't get me wrong. Masuda definitely, I think he holds those views, but I think someone else said that.
Masuda's he's made some, like, I don't want to dunk because people are just like, oh, Masuda's, what's wrong with modern Pokemon? Even though it's like, Masuda has been here like the whole time though. So like, it's like, even the Pokemon games you guys love, Masuda was responsible for. But like, he just has some weird gaming philosophy, like dev ideas where he's like, a small team needs to. Satoshi Tajiri said that?
Isn't he like the new head of the Game Freak?
He's the dude who made Pokemon.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
Damn, that's wild.
He's the president of Game Freak right now. But
okay, I got you.
So
I'm gonna have to double check this because I know somebody said it.
Reputable sources.
Yeah.
we'll get Simon on that.
I'm on it right now.
But
here, hold this.
It's kind of great too because the Switch is like, I'm excited to see what Nintendo does in a post-Iwata design phase. Because even though the Switch is Iwata's brainchild, it is devoid of a lot of the character that Iwata has with his design.
That's the thing.
Like, because someone mentioned this to me, and it's like the Wii U is very much Iwata. Like, the way you look at it, you're like, oh, yeah, like, it's very reminiscent of the time period where Iwata was the head of the ship. But then, like, you look at the Switch UI and everything, and it's like,
that's
very
really fair. Because even looking at
there,
like the Wii U versus like the Switch, the most playful part of the Switch is when you get the red and blue Joy-Cons. Let's be honest.
That's the most playful
part of it. But if you look at the Wii U, from the sounds to the way everything is rounded to the fact that there's Mii's on the screen as soon as you turn it on, you know what I'm saying?
And then you turn it on, it goes like boop.
It really is like that.
Too.
It really is that PS4, PS5 switch, isn't it? Yeah. Because it's like when PS5 is like no themes, minimal, only beeps when you move stuff.
Literally, though.
And I'm like, what about my Persona 5 theme that is on my PS4 Pro? That's why I still haven't moved on my save data over from my PS4
honest,
Pro.
I thought the PS4 home screen was kind of ugly.
See, but you get themes though.
You do get themes though, which is so wild because we never got themes with the Switch. So, and we're not getting them with the PS5. But I think the cool thing about the PS5 though is that every single time you hover over a game, like sometimes it'll
like the music of the game will play. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. I actually really like that. I got scared by Stranger of Paradise the first time I booted it up because I put the disc in. I went to go to my closet and I hear bum bum bum, and I'm like, whoa. Did not sign up for this. Yes.
This might be a bad time to bring this up, but I do have the truth. We were all wrong.
Oh, really?
So no one from Game Freak thought the Switch was going to fail. The CEO of the Pokemon company, however, whose name is, I think that's pronounced, Sam would know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm trying to be polite.
Oh, that's Tsunekazu Ishihara. Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, Tsunekazu Ishihara, CEO of the Pokemon company, he's the one who thought the Switch was going to fail because of phones.
That's wild.
Really?
Yeah, the Pokemon company's really out of touch.
I mean, I can't.
Because of phones, though?
Well,
it's so wild.
Think of this from their perspective. The most successful thing Pokemon had at the time was Pokemon Go.
That's fair.
Which, I mean, yeah, that I can see where they're coming from with that. But
it was at a time. But when did Pokemon Go even launch?
It was 2016.
2016.
The greatest year ever.
That summer of my life.
That summer was fire though.
That was really a great just year and just like it was a perfect time to
gaming,
launch
though?
that game. No, he's talking about like
For Pokemon
Go.
specifically.
Pokemon, just for Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
What did happen in gaming that year?
I don't even remember, dude.
I don't know.
Yeah. And
Didn't Red Dead come out?
The Switch came out the year after that.
Oh, Overwatch. Overwatch came out.
That is
Red Dead
Overwatch came out.
Yeah, that was 2016. Yeah, it was 2016. Yeah.
There's a couple of hitters. There's a 2016 was not that bad actually.
It wasn't horrible. Yeah.
There's a couple of hitters.
Leafy was popping on YouTube. Back in 2016.
Oh my goodness.
That's terrible. What an error.
Pre-2018 YouTube, different place, bro.
I also
Different
learned,
place.
back to the Switch, I also learned that Capcom requested more RAM for the Switch, like during their dev kit or whatever. So it's wild how the Switch had less of that.
Wow, that's
Before
crazy.
Capcom was like,
please, we're gonna put Monster Hunter on it, please.
So because that's also
Jeez.
another thing too. People have been speculating that maybe the Switch 2, they're delaying it so that they could have some more time to cook. Maybe the dev kits have had people go like, oh, okay, we'd like to change this and this.
Listen,
Which is wild because I feel like if Nintendo did not listen to Capcom, Switch might have been dead on arrival.
And that's insane to me, honestly. That's wild.
Listen, I understand it's a handheld and it has to be as we've talked about this before, as powerful as it can be. But you can boost.
Have we talked about that on the pod?
No, we haven't. We talked about it.
We have to mention this since we're already talking about Switch 2 discourse.
Oh, okay.
But people have been mad because they're like, oh, the Switch 2 will have the performance level of a PS4, and I was sitting there like, oh. Yeah, that's what's up. Like, yeah,
we need that's all we need, really.
That's what I'm saying. That's all we need. Because the Switch has a performance of
bro, like
PS3,
like a PS3.
I was saying more so a 360.
Yeah.
He'd be making the woo sounds when I start playing Monster Hunter.
Oh my goodness! All the times where my Switch gets shut and I have to shut it off.
Okay.
I've been playing my Switch Portable more recently. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I just want to play my stuff in bed. Also, I was sick recently, so I was I have to play it in bed. And I feels like I blink sometimes and it's dead. It's almost dead. And
some games really be yomping your battery like crazy, dog.
I need at least PS4 Pro power. If we can get that,
even base PS4, I think it's gonna be fine.
That's minimum.
No, but my thing is that 60 frames on all games minimum, and then we're good.
60 FPS.
Because listen, the way that I went from
Kingdom run at 30.
I think so.
I don't know.
I think it's either 30, maybe 60. But it was crazy because I started playing Monster Hunter and it's locked to 30 on Switch. I picked it up on Steam just to play with some other people.
Oh my goodness!
I was like, "Whoa!"
That must have.
Wait, I can see. It's like when you clean your glasses, bro. It's like, whoa!
Dude, I feel like the Switch 2
Minimum, we need at least that
Dude,
much.
they can go leaps and bounds, bro. Just graphics and just
But
I really
power.
hope that
Yeah.
putting Switch games into the Switch 2, like there's like a little
better
bit
be
of performance enhancement.
It should look like next gen.
like a little.
A little bit.
I don't think
Close
we're changing
to.
that much. Well, like the Switch 2, I feel
I feel like that would be a
in terms of
software patch thing, you
Switch,
know?
like that would be more like a software patch thing, but like
Using enhanced, like the enhanced settings patch or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To take advantage of the hardware. But I really do. Kind of going back to the point you made about like Iwata's design philosophy, I wonder if we're gonna get a little bit more of that because honestly, I really do like the idea of like the Switch 1 feeling like a rough draft just to make sure their idea works. Because it was like it feels complete yet incomplete. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where it's like it's enough for it to get games and print money. Because it was, I'm gonna be real with you. I really feel like the Nintendo theme park probably all that is Switch money. Let's be dead honest, and it's probably all Switch money. Let's be real. So it's just like I want to see like if the Switch 1 was them laying the foundation, is the Switch 2? Do you think it's gonna be them like okay, let's flesh this out a little bit more. Let's like
it has to be. It literally
I really
has to,
hope so,
especially
yeah.
because
I hope
it's
it is.
a successor to
Yeah.
Switch. Nintendo might add like one gimmick there. I hope it's a HD Rumble type gimmick where like it's something they forget about and they're like, let's just focus on making games and forget about this thing and use it as just a marketing
underutilized. It
sell
could have been
point.
great, honestly.
I honestly don't care. Like the vibration in certain games, like as long as the vibration matches like a giant coming at me or something, like that's as impressed as I need to be. Like, and I'm good.
I'm pretty sure I turned it off on my Switch anyway.
Oh,
So.
we can do
You
that.
can do that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. So,
I
He
mean,
said
there
he
aren't.
could turn it off like the 3D on the
7 years of
3DS.
Yeah. I mean, there aren't a lot of games that do impressive stuff with it. I think Kirby Star Allies, like if you 100% the game, it like vibrates to the tune of the actual like first stage
Let's
in the
go,
first
baby.
Kirby game. That's the most impressive thing I've seen done with it. Is like they made a little song, which I mean, it's impressive. Don't get me wrong, but like it's not necessary. It's like how Smash Brawl with like each character had a sound effect come from the Wii. Like, it's like it's cool, and it's probably going to be something that's super nostalgic if it was used more often. But it's not absolutely necessary.
no, I think the Switch 2 has to like follow up on a lot of different things the Switch did.
Yeah.
Let's have themes, please.
We need
the
that.
Joy-Cons have to
Needs
actually
to be
work.
dope.
It's very wild to me how the Joy-Cons are like a really bad piece of hardware,
Yeah.
but like no one's really. I mean, people have tried to sue Nintendo over it and they failed, but like the Joy-Cons
So
are
mediocre,
bad.
man.
They're
It's
not
so
good.
mediocre.
They need to be fixed, please.
Maybe more personality.
Better online, please.
Better online.
That's not a hardware thing, but
Yeah.
just please.
I want to see something like the
A dock
faceplates
with Ethernet just in it
Yes.
already.
I mean the
please.
OLED dock is like that, right?
Yeah, the OLED.
I think
dock is
so.
like that, yeah.
I want to see like faceplates like they did with the new 3DS. I want to see something like that on my Switch where I can
Oh, yeah, that would be
customize it
immersive.
more easily.
The OLED kickstand.
crazy.
is
I'm
good.
gonna be real
Yes,
with
yes,
you.
yes.
I don't think we're ever
Yes,
gonna
yes,
be able to
yes.
see that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That. The OLED kickstand, man, I did not realize how much I needed that when I
Oh
got
my
it.
goodness!
Wow.
I haven't used an OG Switch in like 3 years
That's
now.
what I'm saying. Going
but,
from
like,
the twig to like actual stability.
I used to never put my Switch on tables. I put my Switch on tables all the time.
Literally,
so,
dog.
yeah.
But I feel like definitely stuff like that. I want to know what kind of Nintendo whimsy they're gonna like just kind of sprinkle on, because like you said, they always throw something random, right? Where it's like the 3DS had 3D, and then it had the AR cards that I forgot about. Then we had HD
AR
Rumble,
cards
and then
were
remember
so
the
dope.
I forgot
Joy-Cons
about
has like the IR camera or whatever.
Oh, they
that I
never
also
used
forgot
that.
about.
I
You know what I'm
forgot.
saying? That we
They
also
never
forgot about.
used that.
It's
No.
just like the Wii U had like the camera on the on the gamepad.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, because that they had the Wii U video call.
Exactly.
Bro, I
think I
was
used
so
that.
sick.
I think I used that once in my entire life.
Video
Maybe
call?
once. Yes.
So the worst part about the Wii U selling 13 million copies,
There was
is
no one to
that
talk to,
You had
bro.
no one to talk to. I literally
We're the only ones in our friend groups who had Wii
Yes.
U's.
My friend Rebecca, she's a Nintendo fan, and we had 3DSs growing up. But I remember one time I asked her, I was like, "Do you have a Wii U?" She was just like, "No," and I was like, "Why?" She was like, "I just don't want one." And I was like, "Oh." So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I really wish I could use this. I would watch the video of Iwata basically FaceTiming Reggie on his Wii U, and I'd be like, I wish I could do that. But like,
Man.
yeah, I mean, the GameCube, it looked like a lunchbox.
That's what I'm
Honestly,
saying.
I like the GameCube's lunchbox design, which is wild.
Put a handle on the Switch too.
Put a handle on the Switch too. It's wild.
Give me a pop
how
socket.
It didn't succeed because it was just the era of maturity where gamers like,
We got to be serious.
well, Nintendo doesn't have guns in their games. Like, what are they doing wrong? Like, what if Mario said swear words and had a gun?
Meanwhile, at Sega.
That'd be some real gamers. Shadow the Hedgehog was so ahead of its time.
Damn.
If it just came out like 3 years later,
Bro,
Literally.
it would have killed the game.
Either 3 years later or like 3 years earlier.
Yeah, that low key. So,
Man. But it's
Yeah.
like, I just wonder if they're going to give us another gimmick or if they're going to like start cutting out gimmicks and start focusing a little bit more on the software side of it. Because we know that
I'd be
they have to
fine with
improve.
that,
They have
honestly.
to improve the hardware. So that's kind of a
Yeah.
given at this point. That's what literally everyone is doing at this point. But it's just like, that's cool.
the hardware and the software can't both be poop.
That's
So.
the thing. You know, pick
Don't
one.
get me wrong.
Pick one.
Yeah,
as I
no.
said, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick a struggle. But I think Nintendo, of course, they make phenomenal video games. Sometimes it feels like they're the only member of the big three that make games, and they're interested in making games,
Man.
and not movies. But you know,
But I want to watch Nathan Drake.
But I want to play an over-the-shoulder action game with a bad skill tree. I want to play that.
It's okay. This next upgrade gives you 0.15% more attack power. Get him,
Oh, my
champ.
goodness, let's go. And a bad crafting system. Oh,
Yes, sir. We need
stop.
that stable on so you feel like there's a progression
Say it
system.
again. Say it again.
Which
Horizon
one?
Zero Dawn. Uncharted. God of War. Yeah. So, yeah. I think
Switch
the Switch
2,
2 will. I think it'll succeed. You know, we'll have a lot more to talk
How
about.
many units do you think it's going to sell first week?
A lot.
First week?
First week.
I could give you a lifetime projection. I can't give you.
No, give me first week. First week, I'm going to say
2
mil.
First week,
at least 2
3.
mil.
I'll do 4 mil.
I'll do 3 mil.
Mm-hmm.
3 mil. I think it will sell more in Japan than it will in the U.S.
Oh, for
First
real?
week.
Really?
First week.
Cook.
First week.
Low key.
So. The Japan loves the Switch. I mean, it's the best selling
Yeah.
console in Japan. So,
You know what? On the
ever.
flip side, if the Switch 2 fails, what do you think is going to be its downfall?
Oh,
I think it's
like the hardware.
I think it's Nintendo.
the hardware. It's the hardware.
You just kind of spin.
That
There's no like. That's,
I think
that's my biggest.
I think what
expectation
comes
for it.
runner up to that
Mm-hmm.
would be just Nintendo resting on their
their
laurels.
laurels.
Like
Mhm.
just, I think the games will be good, but I think Nintendo will finally make the experience so anti-consumer that people will be like, this might not be worth it.
Like the Switch 2 drops.
Like,
They increased the price of the Nintendo Switch Online by $50. It has a camera. It has 2 cameras for no reason at all, and they're
that's
never
the camera for no
used.
reason. A back-
Joy-Cons
a rear
cost
camera.
$120 per pair, and they're still as bad. They haven't changed anything
Oh
about
my
that.
goodness.
You can get a bundle of the most recent 3D Mario games for $80.
No, not even that. They're only doing single game remasters because Nintendo was like, wait a minute, we can just get away with doing this. Okay, Skyward Sword HD. You get an HD port of a Wii U game that honestly isn't even that good, and that it's $60. It's like,
Man.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's just stuff like that where, I mean, there are a lot of Nintendo fans who will put up with anything. But, you know,
Literally anything. Just like.
literally anything. They learn from the best. So Pokemon fans. But you know, I think that would really be the biggest thing I could see. And I mean, it's not like Nintendo.
My
They get
biggest-
third party support, but like third party support isn't really as like important now as it's like it's weird. It's weird. So third party support, as we traditionally think of it,
I was going to
is
ask
like
you for your
not.
definition.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a better way to put it. Because before I almost said like, oh, Nintendo doesn't need any developers of themselves. No, what I mean to say,
Bye,
is,
Capcom.
yeah, Capcom, Konami, please stay. But you know, before it used to be like, oh, like Nintendo's got to have, you know, the next 2K, next Madden, next FIFA on there. They got to have stuff like Battlefield on there, and you know those franchises are dead. They're not moving anything. But like, I wouldn't say they're dead, but like
Yeah.
they're not moving anything in the gaming sphere. They're not respected anymore.
They're still moving units though.
On to come up with NCAA.
I don't think they are though. That's actually gonna be
that's-
fire. Though.
everybody's
That's
getting that
actually gonna
in
be
the
fire,
summer,
though. I'm
so
not gonna lie.
That's if they
EA might actually do something.
side
like
note,
that,
if they do that right, everybody will come back. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a lot more casual people buying PS5s, buying.
the amount of
Yeah.
like TikToks I've seen about college football 25.
yeah,
EA
that game
Sports,
is alone. Will,
They have to literally actively fumble. So if everyone doesn't know, EA Sports is making a long-awaited sequel or a long-awaited installment in the college football series.
Dang,
So,
that's actually
yeah.
kind of cool.
Because college football players cannot make money off their appearances.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're paying them.
for real.
They're paying them. I think $600, and they get a free copy if they opt in to get.
Yeah, the NIL.
Interesting.
yep. And I was
Yeah.
like,
So that's really awesome because I'm all for college athletes getting paid.
oh, 100%.
Even though this
That's
is
why-
that podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole different podcast. I was
I
gonna.
was gonna say, Kelechi, you have strong opinions about that.
Yes.
One. So, but yeah, so I think Switch 2 will do well. Speaking of next gen hardware, Xbox. So
Shout out Phil Spencer, man. He's trying.
We talked a little bit about the Switch partner showcase. That was allegedly delayed. Obviously, Nintendo wouldn't confirm anything like that, but that was allegedly delayed because Xbox was having their presentation on the same day Nintendo planned on doing the partner showcase. Now, the Xbox thing came and went. It wasn't like an official presentation where Phil Spencer was talking to the camera and being like, "Hey guys, update on the Xbox brand." He was more so just like it was like a thing that we're doing right now. Actually,
Yeah, it was like a podcast,
official
right?
Xbox
They were just
podcast. And I think the thing before I go into it, the thing I admire about the Xbox team, because I want to spread some positivity before we dunk on them. Because spoiler alert, we're gonna dunk on them. So the thing I admire about the Xbox team and Phil Spencer is that he truly does care about creating a good platform and good experiences, for Xbox consumers, right? Like we just see it in honestly, the birth of Game Pass is the thing that I think of mostly because I think it's the best initiative driven by any of the big three that we've ever seen recently. It feels like a lot of different initiatives are either born out of greed or just like everyone else is doing this, so I'm going to do it too.
And also greed.
And and also greed. But I think Game Pass is really dope because even though it's a little more on the pricey side now, it still is a phenomenal service. I'm a subscriber to it and I like it. But I think that Xbox really cares about that. Phil Spencer and the other two, I forget their names. They seem like they really care about it. So, So, moving on to the Dunk Fest. So, Xbox, to give everyone the gist of it.
I was about to say.
I watched the full thing.
I have not.
I only
I know
got a
everyone else
recap.
hasn't watched
Yeah.
the full thing, but they know of some bits and pieces about it. Xbox says we are going to stay in the console market, right?
Which was surprising for me. I think that's
but
cool,
they
though.
said we are bringing four games over to
multiplat, right?
Multiplat.
Yeah.
And that's it for now,
For now.
which is crazy. Because
And we still don't know what those games are, right?
No, they haven't said what those games are going to be. We have some confirmed ones now. Hi-Fi Rush is coming to the PlayStation and PC now.
I thought
and-
Hi-Fi Rush was always on PC.
Oh, yeah, it's on Steam.
was-
Oh,
It
sorry.
on Steam.
Yeah, it's coming to the PS5.
Yeah.
And
Switch, right?
Maybe the Switch.
maybe the
Maybe.
Switch.
Oh,
Maybe the
okay.
Switch.
Maybe.
I think it's just PS5 actually. I remember the headline saying two consoles,
Yeah.
but it's actually just PS5.
Yeah.
So Hi-Fi Rush is coming to the PS5. I think there's another game that I'm blanking on. Phil Spencer specifically said it's not this game I was thinking about. Phil Spencer specifically said that Starfield is not coming to other platforms.
That is so funny.
Oh,
Which
wow.
It's
They need
funny
that.
because I think he's lying. That's
Why?
the thing. I think he's lying primarily because it just wouldn't make any sense. That's the game people want to see on other platforms.
That's the game y'all
honestly-
need to throw on as many
That's what I'm
platforms as
saying.
possible.
That's the game because Starfield was not the hit that Microsoft thought it was
It
going to
wasn't
be.
the hit that Bethesda or anyone wanted it to
Yeah,
be.
it's
for
not
real.
the hit. It's not the hit it
Man.
needed to be.
I did not care about Starfield when
I
it
didn't
dropped.
either.
And
I was like, okay.
I thought it was going to be
it's
interesting from the
cool.
first trailer, but then nothing
Like-
was improved on the trailer subsequently. So I was like,
here's my experience with Starfield. I saw the announcement, forgot about it, went on YouTube one day to see everyone posting glitches and like uncanny valley videos of Starfield. I think I saw,
and that immediately turned me off
Yeah.
from the game. I was
And
like, all right, we're done.
I think I saw like one live stream or something where Brian David Gilbert was trying to find himself in the game because he voice acted for it. And then I officially forgot about Starfield again.
See, like, my thing was, like, in the wake of Fallout 76, when they were literally, like, multi-hour videos being like, there's over 1,000 glitches, and these are all unique, and I'm going to showcase them in this game. And then we got another glitch fest on Starfield on launch. I don't know, dog. I really don't know. That's I was not vibing with it at all. I'm gonna be real with you. I was just like, why would I want to throw my like $60, $70 at this when I know that it's unfinished? And I know that's a gaming industry thing at large, and I don't want to get too far away from the Xbox like talking point, but it's just like we can do better, and I want Bethesda to do better.
Yeah,
because like what. 14-year-old me loves Skyrim.
Half the game later.
Yeah.
It's not a good game. It's okay, but like I want something better, y'all.
There's
Come
something
on.
about Skyrim that just makes me keep coming back to it, whether it be through YouTube videos or.
I mean, that's you. That's
Hey,
not me.
I think
You better than me, though.
I think it's because Skyrim is very ambitious as a game.
It tried. Like
So,
it didn't
yeah,
cook everything
like-
fully, but it tried. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's basically just nostalgia. That's why.
It's a lot of nostalgia. I mean,
Skyrim, it's somewhat rooted in pop culture now at this
yeah,
point,
exactly.
so,
It's like I mean, if you were around
I mean,
in gaming
it's
in the
more of a
early
relic of, like,
2010s, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
2008, 2009,
You know, back
but-
when like top text, bottom text memes were unironically kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's I just it's like seeing someone peak in high school.
Yeah.
And you see them at 24, and you're like, man, you haven't changed, and that's really sad.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
the
like,
thing about
dog,
Bethesda right
like,
now, man.
so fingers, toes, and other limbs crossed for Elder Scrolls 6 whenever we get that someday.
I forgot they were
Yeah,
making that.
They revealed it. Or I guess they
announced it like, what, 3 years ago
Yeah.
at this point?
3 years ago.
Something like that.
Hey, they're cooking.
They just said,
Must be.
here's the logo. And I was like, okay, cool. Gameplay. Gameplay. Because that's what I need, man. So it's just like,
I've heard it was made by Bethesda.
it was
right?
published
It's
by
published
Bethesda,
by
but they didn't
Bethesda.
make it. And the
Oh,
same way that
okay.
Doom 2016 was published by Bethesda, but they didn't actually make it. You
And
know what I'm
that's
saying?
why they actually function when you play them.
Exactly, you know? So it's just like,
So the games that Microsoft is planning on, or I guess rumored,
Allegedly.
Hi-Fi Rush, which is pretty much confirmed now,
Mhm.
Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded. So
Sea of Thieves.
I forgot about Sea of Thieves.
Isn't that not a bad game though?
It's pretty. I mean, people said it was solid.
Yeah.
Like, I think some people.
I,
I
don't like
heard.
Sea of Thieves primarily because Rare could be doing anything else. I'm sorry if you enjoy Sea of Thieves, but
Listen,
as
like
someone
a-
who is going back and reliving all of Rare's glory days, I'm like, this should be Nintendo Studio, man. I'm sorry. This
well,
should
what
be
is
Nintendo
funny
Studio.
is that Sea of Thieves still looks way better than whatever Ubisoft's trying to do with Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
I forgot about Skull and Bones. Yeah.
You want to be a pirate game, but you can't get off the ship. You
No.
Dude,
can't walk around the ship either.
What the heck?
Crazy.
Now what we need to do is develop a One Piece game.
The streets aren't ready for that one.
Stop.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't wasn't like an RPG like what 2 years ago,
One
something like
Piece
that.
Odyssey?
All of them.
Yeah.
Odyssey was so bad, bro.
Really?
Was it
Odyssey was
really?
cool.
That's crazy.
Odyssey was
That's
not hitting,
wild.
bro. I can,
They need like a Xenoblade style One Piece game because
You
like
get to make your own straw hat, and you guess. Hold on.
Cook. See, no, a little bit of Xenoverse, but then like
Cook.
you know how like Xenoblade Chronicles that you have a big party of people and they all do have different abilities and everything, and all of theirs like synergize together and everything with your team
That's
battles.
how One Piece Odyssey works.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, it's like a
Dang.
party, right? And it's like
Is
very
it?
like it's very
Because I thought it was like more like
That's
a
why I
like
got
a traditional
Xenoblade
JRPG.
style.
I thought it was more of like a traditional JRPG.
I'm about to say, I don't know if it's
Oh,
Xenoblade style where you just
actually
lock your
my
Yeah.
fault. My
I
fault.
know.
It is probably traditional.
Because I was about to say something like that. I think would work really well with One Piece. You know
I
what I'm
think it
saying?
would.
that would be cool.
But I mean,
To this day, there's not a even semi decent One Piece game, in my opinion. There's just not.
Jump Force.
No.
Please, Jump Force 2, make them not look realistic, and then have Denji. Then we're good. Please, that's all I need.
Please.
That's
Oh,
all
what
I
was that?
need, bro.
Art direction. All right. Anyway, we're getting off topic. So, yeah. So Xbox said it's gonna be 4, no more than 4.
Yeah.
I
Multi-class.
think they would benefit from going deeper than that because obviously
Yeah.
PlayStation is
Yeah.
committed to being like we're putting them on there. The only thing is that I watched someone react to it, and basically the two of us watched it together. But what he said is that it works for PlayStation because a lot of their games are very much like, I would like to experience this on a PlayStation console. Let me get a PlayStation for this game.
Yeah.
Or like, I would just prefer to experience this on a PlayStation console. No one is doing that with an Xbox. Like it very much is a thing where like these games are, they're Xbox exclusives, but like to go, I'll just wait for the PC release is more appealing to people than saying I'll just wait for the PC release of a God of War or Spider-Man.
And that's
like,
interesting.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Like, why do you think that is?
The type of game it is.
Because
It's the type of
I
game.
think it's the type of game. I think
there's certain.
Microsoft and Sony definitely have different types of exclusives.
That is
we
fair.
dunk on Sony all the time for over or shoulder action stuff.
That is
but
true,
honestly,
though.
like even though Microsoft has like a variety of stuff they do, like it's not really a variety that like anyone has any confidence in, or like it's not really a genre of games that people really care much about.
Because it's just like what do they got, like Gran Turismo?
PS5 is Gran Turismo.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking Forza probably, right? For
Forza,
Xbox.
yeah, Forza.
Exactly.
I like Forza. I'm not paying $500 to play Forza though.
Yeah.
So Forza's on Game Pass too. So I already got my Forza, and for $15 a month. So, but yeah, it's really weird. Honestly, I just don't know what it is with that. So I think that Microsoft should probably have some more oversight with some of these exclusives because they also talked a little bit, I guess, to transition into it. They talked a little bit about acquiring these different studios and how they're still committed to making all these great titles because like having games like in the Activision family or like in the Blizzard family or blah 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 is like well, those experiences enhance the Xbox brand and stuff. And it's like no,
but what is the Xbox brand right now?
Okay,
like what is that?
Yeah, so before we jump into that, let's tackle that. So that's also something they talked about. So, and it's funny because the dude who I was watching, he was like, that is something, because the person who was giving Phil Spencer and his crew the questions were just like, how would you describe the Xbox brand? Because there's a lot of uncertainty around what it is. Like, what does Xbox stand for? That was her question verbatim. What does Xbox stand for? And I reflect on the exact same thing. I was like, I have no idea what Xbox stands for. Like, as a brand, like, what is Xbox's purpose in the arena?
What do they
like,
bring?
What do they bring to me, the consumer?
You finish first, and then I'll...
Because I want to give some context to his answer, and then we can give our answers, and then also discuss how bad his answer was, because I thought it was pretty bad. So they said...
like Phil Spencer's team said?
I think it was like the second dude on his team or whatever,
Yeah.
because I don't want to say Phil Spencer said it when like it was actually like the other guy. But he said that... Oh, wait, no, she said. She said that Xbox is this place where you're going to be getting the best experience for like this game. You're going to be seeing some quality titles come out. Like
that's very
some of the best like you're going to be seeing some of the best titles routinely come out.
It's very professionally vague.
That's very professionally vague. But here's my thing about that. That is wrong. Literally. First off, I am playing some of the. I believe I'm playing. I can easily, readily experience all of the best titles that the industry has to offer. And I own an Xbox One. I don't own a Series X. Like, I believe I can readily experience those things right now. And even before I got my one, and I now have a 360 as of earlier this afternoon. Even before I got an Xbox system, I still believed that I could readily experience those. Right. So I'm just
like, what's not on your plate? like what's not on your plate right now?
I'm just so confused how this isn't ringing more alarm bells, because I feel like this was the biggest thing throughout the entire thing, and it was the most important thing in the entire episode, because it's like, what does Xbox stand for? Like a console that I can't even answer that question for, because I feel like for Nintendo, what I can answer for that is that I'm getting some of the most unique experiences in games.
You can just say Mario.
Yeah.
Like, you can really just say Mario Zelda. That's
Mario Zelda.
I know what I'm getting.
Now, a lot
you
of
say PlayStation, Uncharted, Last of Us, RPGs like Elden Ring. I'm thinking of things like that.
And This is actually what I was going to jump into originally.
Yeah.
This is why I say, and this might be a hill I die on. I think it's a very easy hill to not die on, because I think I'm right. But Xbox is the most mid console at least at the moment, and I say that because there's not
powerful. It's the most powerful console on the market, Simon. Why are you saying it?
My child, be quiet and I'll explain. Okay, there's not a single reason that I would want to buy an Xbox. Okay, there's not a single game on there that makes me feel like, oh, well, Xbox would be the definitive way to play this, or, oh, well, this is an Xbox exclusive, so now I have to get this game, you know? And I understand that there's a bunch of, like...
That used to be Halo.
Yeah.
That used to be
Halo, but it's not.
Halo's been so mid for the longest time,
I'm going to sit down.
Oh, my.
You want to know why? It's because everything that Xbox releases almost immediately goes to Steam. And I think that's great. I think that's fantastic for accessibility. But it doesn't help Xbox's case when it's trying to make sales. There's a reason.
We've talked about exclusivity on the pod before, for sure.
Yeah.
But as you were saying something,
There's a reason that, what is it, Xbox S or whatever that we're on now?
Xbox Series X,
I don't care. There's a reason it is like the worst selling of the big three on the market right now. And part of that has to do with its lineup. And like we're talking about, it stands for nothing.
I think that's a big thing to do with just marketing 101 too, because if I as a consumer can't tell you like what it's good at or what makes it unique or what makes it worth purchasing, other than just, I guess it plays games, when like how many other things in my household already do that? And it's just like, dog, like between like my PS5 and my PC and my Switch, what can Xbox offer me that isn't covered by those?
Hey, you can't download Crunchyroll on your oh no, I can
download my Switch.
I can also open up my Chrome and
exactly.
Crunchyroll.com.
Literally, and it's like, and that's the craziest thing for me, because I kind of dislike the idea of like fall offs and rises, because I think a lot of things are just kind of cyclical. But it is really weird seeing like Xbox go from this giant that I felt I was missing out on when I was in high school by not playing Halo to now it's just like, I'm not missing out on anything. And that's sad.
The pressures of being a kid and being like, I don't have a 360.
When I didn't have a 360 to play Reach.
I don't know what Xbox Live is. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I need to know, though.
I didn't have that. And it's just like, I at this point, I almost feel like they need a Splatoon, or they need a new franchise that's going to stay exclusive to their system.
Save their whole console.
That is good enough to make people think, I want to pick up an Xbox to play this game.
And you know, sorry,
you said they need a Halo situation.
Yeah,
because literally the OG Xbox came onto the market and people were just like, oh, okay, I mean, it's cool, but like, I mean, you know, we have the PS2 and like Nintendo's always gonna be Nintendo. It's like, what is this gonna offer? Boom, Halo. And Halo is
sold like crazy. Then Halo 2,
literally revolutionary.
Halo 3. You would have thought Jesus was coming back. The way people was talking about Halo 3.
Was talking about
Halo, you could not catch people at church, but you could catch them at GameStop launch day for Halo Reach, dog. I'm telling you.
Like, the way Halo changed the game, honestly. Like Microsoft owes a lot of their success to Halo, man. It's actually, like, they made a very solid system.
You know, jumping kind of like off of that, like, thinking about gaming over the past like couple console generations, how many really big games can we say have, like, as far as consoles specifically go, have like really, really changed the game? Like over like even over
Mario.
The
original Super Mario Brothers did that.
No, I'm thinking like the past two generations.
Oh,
like,
past two generations?
Past two generations. I mean, because we could say maybe Breath of the Wild.
We're counting this generation, right?
Yes. Current generation and the one before.
I would definitely say Breath of the Wild.
I would say Breath of the Wild for sure.
Breath of the Wild.
But as far as Sony and Microsoft, I'm trying to.
But are we talking about birthing something new,
like, or at least like? I mean,
this is completely new, because
like for example, like
games existed before.
They did exist, but like the boom of them. And the fact that it was an open world that also that was detailed and like dense, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not on your young Defiant right now. But it's just like, it's like you think of Halo, right? And you're like, okay, this consistently changed the game every time a Halo game was dropped, up until maybe about 4. Maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Halo 1, good.
I would say
Halo
4 is a
2,
good
everyone
kill-off,
says was an amazing sequel. 3 and Reach, that era specifically was insane.
That era was insane,
people say
bro.
it started going
The
downhill
way
around
Luke
4.
talks about Halo 3 and Reach, bro.
That's what I'm saying, right? You know?
He talked like that game changed his life.
That's the thing. That's the thing, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like we haven't really had as many games in the big 3 collectively that have done things like that.
I mean,
outside of what I've really kind of been seeing from Nintendo.
I think
you
The
know?
Last of Us low-key did that.
The Last of Us
I
did
can give
do
him
that.
that much, yeah.
I mean, whether or not you think it was a good thing.
I was thinking about like impact of
Impact on-
consoles
yeah.
type of thing, but like I think The Last of Us low-key kind of did that.
Yeah.
If we're going by that criteria. I think that might be it actually.
See, that's what I'm saying. Last of Us, maybe Uncharted,
like we were-
maybe.
Back in the day, in fact, we were getting groundbreaking stuff all the time. I mean, we
yeah.
got Mario and Sonic in the same gen.
Yeah.
Like you could argue Crash Bandicoot low-key changed stuff. You could argue that like, I mean, of course, OG Halo, like.
That was all
Yeah,
way
I mean,
back
like-
in the past, though.
Yeah, that was
You
all
know?
way back in the past.
It's
yeah.
like really. Yeah, go ahead.
Now people are trying to, just pick what works. I think that's been the biggest thing. Like something works. The open world's been
live
cracking.
service.
Live service,
games,
yep.
Games as a service is a really big thing.
Literally. So if people are just,
It's the thing that needs to die. That's what it needs to do.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
I
that.
don't know.
I think realistically, it's not going to die.
It's not gonna
and I
die.
don't think it necessarily needs to, but I think the implementation needs to change.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you're so blatantly anti-consumer, you have like when we were talking earlier in the car about like the Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2018 or 2019 when the microtransactions were so thick, they literally had to pull them out and then slowly reintroduce them because people were like, "This is stupid. Why am I like paying $20 to play as Darth Vader? I bought the game.
Literally.
Let me unlock him,
Yeah.
like
There's a
regularly.
reason,
You know."
even a game.
I
like
think the
Overwatch-
EU even got involved into it where they
Yeah.
It's
that
kinda a little
did get them
crazy.
on
Yeah.
the whole loot
So,
boxes issue.
yeah, loot boxes,
Yeah,
yeah, consider
but it's
gambling,
just but it's just like I feel like I don't know. Maybe this goes into a broader conversation about the gaming sphere as a whole getting kind of complacent this past gen. But it's just
gotten
like,
very complacent.
but it's like we don't really have anything that's really moving and shaking as much as. And I hate to keep saying this. Feels like Nintendo's the only one trying to experiment a little these days. You know?
Yeah,
That's
I
dangerous.
agree.
Very dangerous.
Even like Overwatch 2. I remember I was
man.
playing it. This was like, and I knew it was bad. Like, don't get me wrong, but like,
I honestly can't comprehend the fact that Overwatch 2 actually failed.
no, because the microtransactions was a
Might not have failed.
well. I'm
Maybe
not
not
gonna
necessarily
say,
financially, but
yeah.
like in terms of longevity.
I'm just gonna say longevity. It just doesn't hold the same.
And I think a lot of that was due to the
value.
rollout because when they were like, "Hey, you know how you bought Overwatch 1?
Yeah.
You'll never be able to play that game again."
Yeah, that was
It is
dumb.
now Overwatch
Literally.
2. That's what killed
They
me.
did the
I
exact
was
same thing with
like-
CS. They were like, "Oh, CS:GO, yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. Counter Strike 2 now," and it's like, "Dog,
like-
are you actually being for real?" I genuinely was upset that because I was like, "Bro, Counter Strike 2 was like my childhood, bro. Like, what
Yeah.
are you doing?" Like,
You mean
Yeah.
CS:GO?
Yeah.
Counter Strike, yeah, CS:GO.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I don't understand the reasoning behind that either because I feel like it's so anti-preservative.
They don't care.
Well, obviously.
They don't care
They
because
were
it doesn't
gonna-
make them money.
Gaming is quite literally and by far the worst at preserving their like
And as
their
an art
works.
form,
within
too,
any arts.
as an art
Movies
form,
do this
it's
way better. TV does this way
crazy.
better.
It's
Yo,
like I will dunk
like,
on Disney forever for the fact
paintings
that
do this.
wow, I guess I'll go buy the diamond platinum edition of Bambi for $40 again. But hey, at least it'll come with at least it'll come with all the behind the scenes. It'll come with like all the trailers.
Yeah.
And it'll come with the movie.
It's funny,
But you
'cause
can't guarantee that with games anymore.
I mentioned this.
Man.
I mentioned this to Simon, and it was like I am so amazed at the fact that Capcom is so good
Yeah.
at
Yes.
preserving their
Yeah, they are.
games.
Mhm.
Like I genuinely was like, I'm impressed. Like I,
Yeah.
I literally looked at the menu and I was like, wow, this
Yeah,
is
man.
this is awesome. Why can't every game
Yes.
do this?
I love Capcom's game preservation. I'm talking about this from the
You a
perspective
Mega
of
Man fan? Psst, if you're a new Mega Man fan, you will get caught up pretty easily.
You
I'm
have-
not gonna lie.
you have no-
all the resources.
you
need.
have no reason to not say you are, let me rephrase that. You have no reason to say it's hard to get caught up with Mega Man. Okay?
Yeah, you have
I was there
reason at all.
before they released the freaking Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 through 6. I was determined to get as many of them as I could on my little 3DS because I fell in love with the series when I saw Mega Man in Smash 4.
And
but
they just
now
they keep re-releasing all of the games.
yes,
In a way better way than Sega does too.
no, yeah.
much better way to say it.
Not are they? Sorry, what?
Oh, I just want to say that you guys know that the Sonic Adventure 1 Steam game,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's still on Steam, is a like ROM of the Adventure 1 remake, which is of course a remake of the original game, but like it's also a ROM from the GameCube of the remake that was like
nah.
Wait,
a
what?
ROM of SA1.
No.
So it's all these derivatives of like
Okay.
the PC version of SA1
No.
is like the ROM of
Just plagiarizing.
the ROM
Self-plagiarization?
of the SA1 ROM that was ported onto Nintendo consoles of SA1's remake that they did as like the director's cut. Like
That is
That's so
that's
dumb.
it's like
crazy.
on so many different levels. Like there's no way to play the original SA1 unless you have a Dreamcast,
Dang.
which I do. So
Dang.
Wow.
That's actually hilarious.
Jeez. But back to your point with Capcom, because
Yes.
you did get me.
Because you can play all the Mega Man
playing,
games.
Yeah.
Mega
So
Man games.
what I love about it is, first off, not only are you getting really cool content, like I remember when I was playing through the Mega Man Legacy 1 and 2, I would always go to the art gallery afterwards.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the concept art is and all like the scrapped ideas and stuff.
cool
Did
to
you
see.
know that for Mega Man 9, Splash Woman and friggin' Honeyman or whatever were originally supposed to be opposite genders?
Huh.
I would have had no idea, but I saw the concept art.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. Did you know that for Mega Man 2, there was like some elephant robot master that they cut out completely?
Huh.
I had no clue until I saw that concept art.
That's really, really cool.
But what I love so much about their game preservation is two things. First off, they're willing to evolve on the game itself. Like with the Mega Man X Collection 1 and 2, they added a whole extra mode where you fight two bosses at once.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
And not only that, but they mix and match what games they're from.
Yeah.
So like you could be
Oh, okay,
fighting
got you.
you could be fighting a Maverick from 2 and a Maverick from 4 at the same time.
That's actually really, really dope.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I mean, yeah, there's an art style clash, but like it's
But even
still
then,
cool.
it's like it's cool that they have that. Like I picked up the Zero ZX collection. It's like,
Yes!
yeah,
That's
it's just dope that I can play through all the
Yeah.
Zero games and the ZX games without having a DS or a 3DS.
And that's
you
what I
know?
want to talk about next, actually, is the second thing I love about it so much is that they don't shy away from the stuff that didn't do as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
I don't think anyone's going to deny the fact that Zero, and especially ZX, did not do anywhere near as well as Classic or
Exactly.
Mega Man X.
Even
Yet
though I will definitely argue, I think those games are cooler. I think those games are way cooler.
I definitely think
they got more aura. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
as someone who's
I got
played
more.
Look at Zero. He is opium. That is all.
as someone who's played Classic, X, and the Zero series now, I will say I definitely think the Zero is probably the best one. It's not only does it feel fluid, but like it's more condensed. And while you don't have the whole weakness system, you have an elemental system that works kind of similar. 03 is probably one of the best Mega Man experiences you'll ever have. Granted, like there's kind of an ongoing plot through the whole thing, and 03 is the culmination of a lot of it. So you might be a little bit lost, but like just watch some plot reviews or something. You'll be fine. Or just play 02, because 01 doesn't really matter. I'm getting off topic.
We were talking
Point
about
is,
Capcom
yes.
game
Yeah,
preservation.
Capcoms were good at game preservation.
All I'm saying is, Capcom, give me a Monster Hunter bundle. We need 4 Ultimate since 3DS is online and we're losing it soon. Please give me that and Gen Ultimate, please. Give us a collection. We're 25 years of Monster Hunter this year, aren't we? Yeah.
Oh, it's 25th anniversary? I
think so,
They're
yeah.
definitely going to do something for that.
Damn.
We need
Well,
something.
they announced Monster Hunter Wilds.
They announced Monster Hunter
I
Wilds,
saw
and
that.
I want a collection this year though. That'd be so
Oh, yeah,
dope.
collection will be
Give
hard.
me like
I'm
4
a huge
Ultimate
fan of
on
gaming
Switch,
collections.
y'all.
They need to be a
That's
thing.
what I'm saying, dude.
Hey,
More of a
Yo,
thing.
did we ever? I'm sure we did, but did we get the results from the favorite monster poll?
I don't think we did. Let me look that up.
Okay.
That's fair.
For those who don't know, for Capcom, what is it? 25th anniversary
Either
Monster Hunter?
20th or the 20th. Yeah.
Yeah. They put up a poll where people could vote on their favorite monster, and I think the top 3 are like getting unique art, and they're probably going to do something with them in
Something
the
like
newest
that.
game.
Let me see.
I personally voted Crimson Valstrax
He's
because
really cool.
Yeah, That's why.
Oh yeah, we have not. We don't. First, it's the 20th anniversary, and yeah, we don't have any announcements yet because they're gonna do a special art for the top 3 monsters. Ugh, that's dope.
I'm surprised we don't have announcements yet.
I mean, I feel like they're gonna do some sort of announcement. I think Capcom's gonna talk about Monster Hunter after Dragon's Dogma 2 drops because they've been doing a lot of press for that. Speaking of which, that's gonna be one of my game of the years of 2024. Easily, love that game. But like, yeah, I think we're gonna get more Monster Hunter stuff after Dragon's Dogma, which is gonna be like what? We're probably gonna hear something else about Monster Hunter around June, I think, something like that.
I still need to
Because
play
they're definitely going to give us more information about Monster Hunter Wilds this year.
I still need to play Dragon's Dogma 1.
Yes, please.
That's another game you got for me,
Yes, please.
and it's sitting in my library. How long does it take to beat that game?
To beat the game, maybe like 20, 30 hours. It's not that
Oh,
bad,
so not that
honestly.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can knock it out pretty
Maybe
quickly.
when I have a bit more time, I can chunk away at that.
When the semester's over.
When the
But
semester's over.
It's definitely
For
worth
now,
it,
I need
brother.
shorter games like Pseudo Regalia that are like only 7 hours.
Real.
So, we've talked a little bit about Xbox and kind of, the not lack of confidence we have in where they're going.
Yep, a little shaky,
But, they also talked a little bit about how they want to keep up with the industry. So, I'm going to play this clip. We're all going to react to it.
Sure.
And, we'll just dive in. I'll have it on screen as well for people who are watching the video playthrough. But let's head over to that timestamp.
So I think a lot of people think about 2023 as this incredible year for gaming. And in a lot of ways it was. There was some really amazing releases that I think we all enjoyed. But what were the signals behind the scenes that maybe indicated how we wanted to look at the future of Xbox and how we kind of keep up with the industry?
Yeah, such a good question. And I think it's, as people who care about the industry, which I assume is people who are watching this, it was an amazing year. Some great launches, some of the games that I think will stand the test of time and people will be talking about a decade from now. But it's an industry that didn't really grow. And what happens when an industry doesn't grow? You end up with some job eliminations, which we had. We had even our own hard decisions to make about building a sustainable business for ourselves, but in no way were we alone in that. When you think about a healthy industry, I want players who believe that they will find the best games on the platforms that they love. I want people who invest their careers in working here to feel like this is a place that they can be successful. And that really is down to being part of an industry that is growing. If you listen to Lisa Su, the AMD CEO, she'll say that AMD-powered consoles are likely to decline in 2024. I think there's an amazing set of games coming in 2024, but if we don't get to growing as an industry, the industry will struggle. And today there's really 2 choices on how do you grow the industry. Do you say I have a fixed number of players, the players that we have today, and do I find new ways to monetize those players to get more money from the players that I have? Or do you think about how do I expand the business I have by finding new players and adding those to the base of players that already play? Our focus on Xbox for the last decade has really been on that latter point of how do we make sure Xbox is growing for our players, growing for our creators, so those people are finding success on our platform, which will grow the Xbox business and put Xbox in a position to be very strong for years and decades to come.
So first things first, he definitely knew a question like that was coming because that was too smooth. Second of all, I do not want to hear none of that from you, Phil, when we're talking about tech layoffs. Everyone expanded too much in 2020. We're not even thinking about sustainability, and then all them people lost their jobs. Let's not even get into how crazy it was when those people at Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard lost their jobs, whatever. But like,
My question
I could
is,
go off about tech layoffs. I'm sorry.
whose fault is that? Whose
tech
fault
As far as
is
the
that?
layoffs,
No, I'm because he was talking about
yeah,
the industry not growing. Whose fault is that, Phil?
literally,
Whose fault is that?
dude. No,
Because when you try and monopolize gaming, spoiler alert, who has all the power to make all these layoff decisions? Who has all the power to, define the strategies in terms of like which direction a company goes? Activision and Blizzard had their own autonomy. They've had the ability to go, all right, we can make this decision. But now they're under the purview of Microsoft, where Microsoft is like, actually, we're going in this direction. Activision and Blizzard, you guys
Literally.
are going in this direction. Bethesda, you guys are going in this direction. Like, so I feel like that was a really bad answer. I think that they're not doing that, as Simon mentioned. Like, I feel like Xbox is not really finding anybody new. Xbox's one big strength right now is the fact that they have brand loyalty.
Yeah.
The only people I know who are still playing Xbox love Xbox, which, hey, kudos to you, man. You like whatever piece of plastic you like,
Listen,
bro.
Xbox fans,
Yeah,
Xbox fans are like Pittsburgh fans. Those people will rep that city day and night. I bleed blue and gold. Okay, you can. You'll be seeing that a lot going up and down those hills. Trust me. Nuh-uh, dog.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because it's just like I see what Phil was talking about as far as a growth mindset. That's why they've harped on Xbox as a brand being a multimedia machine for people's houses for so long, because they want to be like, don't just get an Xbox for you. Get it because your mom wants to watch Succession on HBO, or because you guys want to watch Netflix together and play Blu-rays, right? Exactly.
That's never worked badly for anybody.
Yeah. So it's just like, I see what you mean when you say that, but it's like,
it's wild because like there have been 2 attempts now for Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's like the 360 is supposed to be, it's an all-in-one device.
Exactly.
And then the Xbox One was like, all right, now it's even more on the nose. It's an all-in-one
exactly.
device.
And it's
then
like,
dude,
but you're getting away from what made your brand popular, what gave it identity. And again, we can talk about Halo kind of declining all day, and a lot of that did start happening as we're going into the One and then the One era. You know what I'm saying? Post 360. It's like you get away from the people that established you, and now it's like you're appealing to no one.
I'd like to point out that there's a good way to go about this. It's kind of a Riz versus harassment type situation.
Hello? HR?
Where Sony was like, hey, yo, your PlayStation, it can play DVDs. And people were like, it can play DVDs. Because back then, people, like, getting a dedicated DVD player was
Even
a
the
thing,
Blu-ray
you know what I'm
player,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I know growing up.
Oh, no, because that was
my dad
PS2. That's when it started, right?
You know, you got to get a DVD player for the house. The PS1, they're like, hey, we got you. This thing plays DVDs. People were like, say less. PS1 sold over 100 mil. And then with the PS2, they're like, it can still play DVDs.
Exactly.
And people are like, well, I mean, you know, because people literally did a thing where I didn't even know people did this because, I mean, I was just interested in playing games as a kid or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I heard so many stories of people who listen to music and movies
Actually.
like on their PS2.
the console. That's
yeah,
crazy.
and I was like, oh, okay.
My roommate
okay.
does that. Well, he does. He uses. I saw with his PS4 and stuff. He would just turn on music, whatever. Like,
Just in the
Like,
background.
not through Spotify?
no, just it'll be through Spotify. Yeah,
But he'll just have it on the background.
yeah, just be in the
yeah, no,
background.
that's
He'll just be
wild.
doing stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I
Like,
know
a lot of
people
people
that
do
do
it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's the whole young boy fan joke of, like, playing YouTube on your PS4. But, like, I more so mean, like, with the physical
Yeah,
media-wise. And that's how that was a big thing because people were like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I was going to get a separate machine to do this thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it does
And then
this
with
thing
the
already.
PS3 and
So-
Blu-rays, because Blu-rays are starting to happen around then
That's
too,
great
right?
marketing.
Like,
So,
it was more like...
But it was
more like
bundled
slick. It was like,
into
dude,
yeah.
like, it can do this thing too. Like, in fact, Xbox being like, dude, you can do this, and you can do that, and you can do it.
And
It's
that's
like,
the thing.
dude, I just got to the party, bro. You gotta calm down. Like,
And that's the thing, right? It's like there
you
are-
haven't even told me what this thing is, and you're already saying you can play Succession on here, and it's like,
And that just has the energy
dude.
of coming up to my mom being like,
down.
she knows I want to get this to play games, but I'm trying to make my case that we're gonna get this for everything else. And it's just like, if you're not gonna be upfront, I guess you're not getting this for Christmas.
Yeah, that's like
more socks.
That's like going up to your mom and being like, hey, Mom, I heard you want something that watches Netflix. We should get an Xbox. Literally. And then she'd be like, oh, whoa. You skipped like 5 steps.
That's what I'm
bro.
saying, my guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to
so-
hear Kelechi and Simon's thoughts on the clip,
Yeah.
though.
Head is empty. Don't
Um,
care. It's
I-
Xbox.
I think with the clip, he was literally just beating around the bush. I think it was just simply just a professional answer, like you were
Because he
saying.
didn't
like,
talk about anybody else.
nothing at
Literally.
all. I don't
Yeah.
think he's. To me, he didn't.
There's a
say
lot of great games
word.
coming out this year.
Yeah, like he just kept saying that. And he was just talking about the industry, and I'm like, bro, what is you as Xbox as a company gonna do? Stop talking about the struggle. What
Bro
are
also
you
said
gonna do? Like
the industry didn't really grow. That's a very generous way
I
of
was
putting
about
it.
to
The
say.
industry shrunk last
Literally.
year.
Yeah.
So,
Specifically for y'all, too.
yeah.
Yeah, like I thought he was kind of gonna like cater the question to like, oh, how's Xbox gonna grow in this new
Exactly.
quarter of like, or this new year? Like, how are they, what gear are they gonna shift into?
Exactly.
Yeah. Or
This man
how
is
are they
just-
gonna
just
like
saying
go
it.
back to being Sony's rival? Because like Sony is big broing you guys right
Yeah.
now. dog.
And I wonder
there's
if-
nothing
yeah.
to talk about.
And I wonder if part of that is because like they don't want to be like say something and the shareholders be like, but you said this during the interview, and it's just like, well, I guess we can't really do that now. I feel like
Yeah.
Microsoft's trying to be super duper like safe. With a lot of
That's
their
what
answers,
and that's
you
what I
know?
was worried about with this podcast because I was like, I felt like if it was something that was pre-recorded, I at least would have gotten from the message where it's like, all right, we did
This
some
is
hard
curated,
thinking,
yeah.
and here's what we think. But they tried to present it like it was very organic and how
But we
like,
knew
were
that
getting
they
grilled,
definitely
when in reality,
they definitely
were
screened
being
those questions.
Yeah, they were
Exactly.
being interviewed by a woman who works at Microsoft.
Literally.
About Microsoft's plans. Like, so,
Yeah.
like, it's like, there's no grilling. It's going to be happening. It's
That's
just
what
going to
I'm
be like,
saying.
awesome. And then move on. Like, so.
And that's and I guess that just kind of goes back into what we're talking about, the stagnance and kind of complacency of the industry, where it's like we're getting into this era where both gaming and the gaming industry are so focused on being comfortable and appealing to hit as many people as possible that we're not even even on the industry side, aside from the gameplay side, people are just like, this isn't going as up as we want it to or as we think it could be, but because we don't want to take any risks, we're not going to do anything to really make that change, except for more monetization and more anti-consumer practices, which are further shrinking the industry. So it's just like you need to do something different.
To kind of reminisce, because I know that I personally have some fond memories of Xbox. I know everyone who's not Kelechi probably doesn't have like the same level of them. Like obviously we do kind of miss having that competition. All of us do miss having that competition, Xbox bread. But I kind of want to reminisce on the good old days of Xbox, because it felt like there were some new gaming experiences that were always going to be on Xbox consoles. There was Gears of War, there was Halo, there was Rare was still doing things on there where they were trying to bring some of those classic franchises during the 360 era on there, and it was something that I think I thought was cool, and I'd always be excited to play an Xbox at a friend's house, and it felt like it felt like it was a part of the club, like. And even though I was more of a PlayStation person, it was like one of those things where it's like, oh, like Xbox is always going to be there.
Yeah.
Always going to be competing.
It's like if someone got you an Xbox for Christmas, you would have been happy.
Yeah. Like I would have been like, oh, shoot, I got an Xbox. Let me make the most out of it.
Nowadays, what am I going to do with it?
I was gonna say, now I'd just be like, I'd be insulted. It's like,
I would be like, I mean,
you basically just said, you're going to kill my entire clan. Like that's what you just
it's just like, I mean,
Xbox, kill him and his whole family.
If you want to give me a free $300, I mean, I'll get off its marketplace right now.
That's what I say.
But it's just like, that's the thing. I don't know, man. It almost feels like where we're at with the gaming industry is almost like the same kind of place where like Western comics were when manga started out selling people. And it was like, where it's just like, okay, we're seeing all the stagnation with the big two of Marvel and DC, because at the end of the day, we're not going to see any real lasting, meaningful change in a lot of these storylines. And we see manga where it comes with self-contained things that can be either good or bad, but at least they're trying to do their own thing, and people gravitating towards that more. And the big two either ignoring that or trying to figure out how to adapt that to their own situation, which isn't super working. They're doing a couple interesting things nowadays, but it's like, if you really want to see this market thrive, you need to be willing to not just do what makes money, but also adapt, because, and I think we were kind of touching on that with like the entrenched nature of like Xbox fans. When people can appreciate your brand for what it can bring to them, even if your numbers aren't going to always be topping each other, you'll be able to make sure you have a consistent fan base that will buy your stuff. And the more people you can make sure
for the right time to strike.
Exactly.
Because that was what Nintendo was doing, where they're like, all right,
that's the thing.
We've got them. And now eventually when we start branching out, we figure out how to branch out.
Exactly.
Be straight. Nintendo mistake was forgetting the hardcore fans after the Wii dropped.
Yep.
And then being like, all right, we're sorry, guys. Come back.
Exactly. But they got us back, though.
Yeah,
like, they got us back. They really got me
back.
back. So it's just like, okay, like, and I want to see like Microsoft and maybe to a certain extent Sony do something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know what? Just be like, okay, you know what? We want to bring our Halo people back. I don't know, Halo fighting game, something like that clearly has a ton of love put into it. Halo Forza, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or just like, give me Master Chief in DDR for no reason at all. Like, show that you really are trying to like both bring people back to it, but show that you care about these franchises, because they got so many people under the tent right now, y'all.
Yeah.
And please stop thinking that you can just buy the problems away. You can't. You can't just throw money at the problem. Sony has cultivated their strength of IPs solely by believing in their smaller publishers, and now they're the big dogs. You can't just buy the big dogs and expect them to suddenly produce.
You tried it with Rare, and it didn't work. Why are you trying it again?
They should have never tried it. All right. Well, I think we've exhausted this one as far as we can. Moving on, though, I have a very quick actually, not a very quick short to show, because we've already shown it outside of the episode, but we'll wrap off on something a little less, a little less,
Negative.
fiery. I'll say that evokes such strong emotions. So, I got sent recently, or I guess all of us got sent recently. A really quick, TikTok of famous NBA player Nikola Jokic admitting that he plays League of Legends.
Wild.
So, which is crazy to think about that the best player in the NBA plays League of Legends. But it really got me thinking. We've seen a resurgence among celebrities with watching anime, which honestly we can low-key thank Uzi for that. First off, I'm sorry, I'm getting out of pocket. Thank Uzi for that. Uzi low-key did that. But I will say though that will we see a resurgence for that with celebrities? So in terms of gaming,
In terms of gaming, huh?
In terms of gaming. So.
Okay, I got you.
Like just a resurgence of celebrities talking about games in general.
Yeah.
I want to hear about Tom Cruise playing solitaire.
Because we know celebrities play games.
Yeah.
LeBron, he's talked about playing Madden and having a PlayStation and all that stuff.
This is my take on this. I think when we talk about,
I saw you shake your head no. So
yeah, I think when we talk about games and celebrities, one, it depends on the type of celebrity, and two, like the type of games, because I feel like the general populace of like gaming, the gaming community doesn't take sports games seriously. So like when somebody says like 2K Madden, you don't really assume that they're actually like gamers, even though like
they're not real
necessarily
gamers.
So
we
like
can gatekeep a little here, just a little bit.
We don't really take
As a treat.
them seriously.
I don't actually mean
and
that.
I feel like
I mean like I kind of mean that.
Yeah, most athletes are like play 2K Madden. Your FIFA. What is hockey? I don't know. UFC,
NHL.
NHL, UFC, those type of games. They'll play their own type of games because that's just that's their whole life.
Exactly.
What they built their their brand on. But I think like hearing something outside of that, you would have to like go into like a day in the life
who,
type
like,
of
already
thing.
likes that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You already enjoy it. Or we'd have to see something that like they're vlogging their experience or they're like their day off. But we'd have to know something like that. For him, like Nikola, that's his personality is like he's not even an outgoing guy for real, but like it's the fact that like
he's reserved and like
he's really like
and like
passionate.
he likes his niche.
Exactly.
Like, he likes his niche topics.
He's passionate about his niches, and I was very surprised when he said that. I was like, wow, that's very insane that he likes League of Legends. It's such a gamery game that like has so much history to it. So like if you've played League, you'll understand what I'm saying.
So for
like,
Jokic to be
that's
attached
interesting,
to that,
right?
wild.
Yeah,
because it's just like you don't. It's interesting how like because gaming is like both more mainstream but also still really niche. Like we don't associate a lot of like as accessible as it is right now. We also don't associate people of high status in society with enjoying things that are this niche. You know what I'm saying? But then it'd be like, oh yeah, Jordan Peele was hanging out with Kojima. He's probably low-key played Death Stranding and or like Metal Gear. He probably has played at least one of those. And it's just like, wow, like I wouldn't have thought about that, but that still makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's good stuff. It's
like,
good
it's
media.
not like,
The
thing to always remember is like it's not like these things are just like where it's like someone has to literally tell you that something like Horizon exists or something like like Luca plays like Overwatch and stuff like that. Like like even though Overwatch is like this game with all these colorful cast of characters and stuff, like for someone like Luca to play that, it's like like I mean something I wouldn't really like, pick up on. Like it's cool.
I feel like in our entire generation, there's been this very slow and gradual transition towards gaming being a more universal thing. Like I'm not
100%.
saying that like everyone's a super hardcore gamer that knows
but everyone's
what
at least
everything is.
familiar.
Yeah, but everyone's familiar, and I think it's safe to say that everyone has, most likely, almost everyone has at least one console in their house.
For the most part.
Yeah, at this point, a lot of franchises too are very household names. Like I mean, even that's like outside of Nintendo and stuff. Like obviously, like we talked a little bit about how like even though Sonic continues to like fall flat on his face, like he's still incredibly
People still know
popular.
Sonic.
So,
Exactly. I mean, everyone knows Fortnite. Like, think about
Everyone
that.
knows
for
Fortnite,
sure.
Everybody for sure knows Fortnite,
Unironically, Avengers Endgame got it right. People are still playing Fortnite.
Yeah,
in 2020.
literally.
I mean, it's one of the most popular games of all time. It has the best peaks of all time too. So I mean, it'll never go away.
I think it will be cool to see like more celebrities be open about games they're currently playing because it's usually like in one-off things like this is an interview. Yeah.
It reminds me when you said that, like, there was one time this NBA player, I think it was, oh my gosh, he played for the Raptors with Kawhi, the center.
Serge Ibaka?
Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, Serge Ibaka, yeah.
I think it was Serge Ibaka. He was on the plane, and it was a video of him having a Switch, I think, and they were asking him what he was playing, and I think he was either Pokemon or something else. But the comments I saw, it was like, "Oh, you're a grown man playing games." Blah, blah, blah. So there was this
IG comments are so funny.
dude. It was so random. I'm like, so a man can't enjoy himself
Literally.
playing.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was like
You're too old.
So I was like, I got me thinking. I'm like, when is it like your
Grow up, go
status
shoot a gun,
Exactly.
literally like overshadows?
When are you too much of a celebrity to enjoy the things that common people enjoy?
Yeah.
It's funny because the moment you said that, I remember that Jared Allen also literally. Has
Jared
a
Allen
Switch.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he plays Pokemon.
Literally.
Like, yeah.
And
I'm pretty sure this was like a while back, but One Direction were huge fans of Pokemon.
Yeah.
To the point where they may have done some promo with like Pokemon Rumble Blast.
That makes sense, yeah.
Or
Ed
made a
Sheeran is
video.
a huge fan of Pokemon.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I think like a recent K-pop, was it ATEEZ? It wasn't ATEEZ. So like some other like K-pop group did like a promotion with them. It's just like, I don't know, man. Maybe the biggest multimedia franchise in the world has some fans that happen to be famous. Who would have thought?
It's always those unexpected crossover days.
Literally.
There's this one K-pop star who is a super big NBA fan, and like so many people are just like, the NBA better not fumble this because this could end up being huge for them. Because they made bro like an NBA ambassador, and I was like, they gotta not fumble this.
Isn't the guy who like wrote Squid Game, didn't he reply to an NBA player about his ending?
Oh, didn't he reply to like LeBron or something like
I
that?
think it was LeBron. Actually,
He
yeah.
did reply to LeBron.
really?
Yeah, he did.
I forget what he said. I just
LeBron called the ending trash or something.
Yeah.
I think he didn't like the
Wait,
ending
let's
or
see if we
whatever.
can find
But,
exactly
like,
what he said.
My
to
thing
LeBron.
is, I'll give bro his props because like what he had been like, he'd had that idea for like a really long time, but like no studio had picked it up. I think for like over 10, maybe 15 years. So he finally got his baby to screen, and it was like a huge success.
Yeah.
So
I still
hey,
gotta finish
go
it.
for it.
Patiently waiting.
I'm halfway through.
I still haven't watched Squid Game. I watched. We need to watch Parasite though. That's a great
Yeah.
movie. If you haven't seen that, Parasite's great.
Parasite, it's on my list, and Tomodachi Game.
Yes.
Also very similar to Squid Game.
But we getting off topic.
Yeah.
though.
No. I think another thing too is that we see a lot of like also like famous people stream sometimes. So
Snoop Dogg.
But it's mainly them talking.
Yeah.
Though. Like it's
I
sometimes.
feel like that
games,
was a
but-
novelty thing though. 'Cause you
yeah,
don't really
like sometimes
see that
we'll see them play
anymore,
GTA.
you know?
Like
yeah, it's
I don't know, some random like
Yeah.
Happy Wheels.
Because I remember the one time that AOC streamed.
Among Us.
Yeah.
It was mostly a voter outreach thing too, where she was like, "I'm playing Among Us. Also, guys, please go vote in November." But yeah, I think another thing too, because I want to highlight this because I did start with a like comparison. I think the thing too is that like with anime, it was very easy to bridge that gap because like people already watch TV and movies and stuff. Like, and with anime, like obviously we saw a lot of people. Like, of course, there are a lot of people in our current age range who are now popular and like they're very successful in the things they do. And they also grew up off the stuff that we grew up off.
Yeah.
So obviously they'd be like, oh yeah, I rock with DBZ, I rock with blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But like I feel like, of course, it's easier to kind of like digest anime in a mainstream way because in the same way it's similar to just watching a show. You're just watching something.
And especially because
of a
like
different
when
culture,
it started becoming more popular, it was around that like
2016.
between like that
2016.
2016 range when we had Attack on Titan, which I'm gonna be honest, I think was a really big catalyst in getting a lot of people
And
into
My Hero.
anime.
Season 2.
My Hero and Demon Slayer
definitely.
were the two biggest catalysts in my opinion.
I think more recently for sure,
was-
but I think it's like that's as far as like making it like more popular now. But as far as initially like being like people aren't just looking at me saying I like anime being like, oh, so you're weird. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because again, in 2015, 2014, if you told someone to watch AOT and they at least started, they were like, oh, this is nothing like the anime that I thought you were watching. And then people got into it from there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think the thing too is that like obviously not everything is popular and like the moment you have somebody speak up and be like, hey yo, this is good because this stuff has always existed. Right?
Exactly.
But like obviously I don't think I'm ever gonna see a famous person saying they're watching Isekai or whatever. But like,
Reborn in Another World is a vending machine.
Jalen Hurts talking about Reborn in Another World. But like I think that a cool thing about that is that there's kind of an ambassador for that where like Uzi would throw all these different bars in his songs of just like cut the top off like I'm Samurai Jack or like all this stuff and stuff where like he was drawing his cover art like Scott Pilgrim and like also like it's like just being very open about that stuff. I feel like people doing that with gaming will also be like the exact same way where people being open about that. But I think that we could see something similar, but I wouldn't put money on it to answer my question. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Ooh. All right, so we've made it to the end of another great episode, boys.
Yes, sir, baby.
So we're gonna end it off with what have you been playing recently, and our great game of praise and raise. What have you been playing recently? For all of our new viewers, is exactly as the title says. We're gonna be asking these lovely people what they've been playing recently, and with praise and raise, we basically give something that we'd like to shout out and something we'd also like to condemn.
Mm-hmm.
So praise and raise it.
Easy.
Yeah. So I'll start off just to give the viewers some context. I've been playing a lot of stuff since we recorded the last episode. So I've been on a roll. Being sick does that to you when basically the only thing you do is stay at home and do nothing. So
that's how I got through P5 the first time, honestly.
So I cranked out a couple things. Pause. Like Crash 2. So I have been on a Crash Bandicoot kick.
Is
honestly.
Crash good? ?
I think so. So here's the thing.
You finish your thought, and then I'm gonna. It's not as bad as it sounds. It's just a coincidence.
Okay, so I started Crash Bandicoot 1 2 years ago. This is when I first got my PS5.
I was about to say, because I remember you playing the remaster.
Yes,
yeah,
and I was so excited to play Crash 1, and I thought it was the hardest thing ever, but I never gave up on it. Crash, the thing I love about the Crash Bandicoot series is that he has shown me that I am not as good at platformers as I think I am.
So
not
real.
as good because the platformers I cycled between were basically like Mario and Sonic and like Sly.
Yep.
And like with Sly, it's like a lot more like mission based, like, mini game based. So it's like, okay, all this different stuff. And then Sonic is basically just like a thing where it's like, if you're holding right, sometimes you gotta hold left. And like sometimes you're holding forward if it's a 3D game. And of course Mario is like, Mario's Mario. But like, playing Crash, it's like the platform needs to be very precise and stuff. But I gave up on Crash 1 because I feel like I just didn't have the chops. I hopped into Crash 2 and I loved it. I thought the progression was a lot better than Crash 1. I think it's just better than Crash 1 in general, period. Okay. I think it's a little easier, but I think the level design is a lot better too. I think the bosses are not amazing in terms of like what I think of to be good bosses is that they have to be memorable and I have to like generally enjoy beating them. I think that although the Crash bosses are solid, I don't think that they're anything to write home about, honestly. Especially the final boss. The final boss is really bad. Is anyone in here going to play Crash 2?
I'm probably never going to play that game.
I mean, even if I do, I don't care if you spoil the final boss.
I don't know.
Okay, so
Spoilers
the
for
final
a
boss
20-year-old
is,
game.
I was going to say, I don't even know why I brought that up. So Cortex is like, he's escaping, right? So it's like a catch the villain before he escapes type thing. And there's this jetpack like mechanic that they introduced like at the very end of like the game pretty much. And it sucks to control. I hate it. But I was like, okay, so it took me like 3 tries to get it right. And you catch him and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Classic
literally was like,
PS2 era. Let's go, baby.
Like, do I get to this end and then like there's
You get another stage, exactly.
No.
That's wild.
That's it. So, and then you have to 1% the game to see the true ending, but like,
Bruh.
I wasn't going to do that.
I kind of love and hate when games do that. It's just like, if the game is like, has enough meat where I want to do that, I might. But like, I never got around to doing that for Arkham Knight because I'm not going to chase all those freaking Riddler trophies, bro.
Yeah. There's not a scenario oftentimes where I'm like, I want to see this ending. I'm like, I want to see with my own 2 eyes. Most of the time, I'm indifferent towards it because I can just Google it.
Literally.
Like, this is what that looks like. So.
Sorry, Sakurai.
I'm sorry, Sakurai. We failed you.
Simon had something he wanted to say, though.
Yeah. So I guess I just think it's funny because literally last night, you were there, Sam.
Yeah.
I got back into Ultra Kill. I started Act 2 because I P ranked everything in Act 1.
He's a gamer.
And for those who don't know, Ultra Kill, each layer has a secret level. And more often than not, those secret levels are fun / entertaining / funny because they go into a completely different genre. And I got to the Crash Bandicoot one.
There's a Crash Bandicoot one?
There's a Crash Bandicoot secret level where basically
I'm going back to Ultra Kill, baby.
basically they take V1's model and put all of Crash's animations over it.
That's so funny.
That's so funny.
But I was stupid and decided, well, I can't let Andrew upstage me, so got to get all the boxes in this Crash Bandicoot level.
I'm dead.
I did the boss of the greed layer in 2 attempts. Trying to 100% that Crash Bandicoot level took me the rest of the evening.
I'm dead.
I literally finished it, and Sam's like, I need you all to leave my house. You've been here for hours.
It was like 11:30.
Yeah. I started at like, what, 6?
Something like
7?
that. That's wild.
No. We met at 7.
Maybe
It
around
was-
like
I think I must have started at like 8. So that
That's
took me like 3 hours.
That's so wild.
Let me put it this way. I've never touched a Crash Bandicoot game, but I did not think kindly about Crash Bandicoot that night. Like, obviously, I'm not going to
you need
say...
to talk to him. You clearly need to talk to him.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say Crash Bandicoot is trash because I played a completely different game that mimicked Crash Bandicoot. That is stupid.
But
But all I'm going to say is if I do pick up a Crash game, there's no way I'm ever 100%ing it.
real.
Oh, no. It's so wild because my experience with Crash Bandicoot oftentimes felt like, man, this is dumb. And then me being like, I have to go back.
Not the Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, I like Crash 2 a lot.
Okay.
I think I'm going to play Crash 3 soon, but, that will be in the future. I finished the Pokemon DLC finally.
For
That
Scarlet and Violet?
Yeah, for Scarlet and Violet.
How was that?
My time with Scarlet and Violet has now come to an end. It was good. I thought it was solid. It's still a game that is a mess technically.
He said it's a game.
It's a game, but I think that the part 2 was way better than part 1. It was way more interesting than part 1. The resolution of the thing they've been hinting at for like the entire game was a huge letdown. But there were some really good character moments. I liked the new environment that part 2 was in. I thought it was dope. So I liked playing through that. What part 2 showed me was that I'm really, really bad at double battles. So they were never my thing. And the whole DLC is just double battles. The amount of Elite Four battles I cheesed completely, I ran through like.
Sorry, I love that actually. Because
Play Gen 3.
The duality of man.
Brother, dude.
No, but seriously, think about it.
Brother, dude.
Think about it, right? Every time you look at like the official Pokemon competitive, it's all double battles. Double battles allows for like way more like
synergy.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
No, I love double battles.
No.
I hate triple battles though. Sorry.
Well, they don't even have triple
Hear
battles
me out.
anymore.
Triple battles are kind of base. They got to bring
No,
them
they're
back.
not. They're
No.
Well, it sucks for you because they're bringing them back because they're doing the Unova remake. So they're bringing them back anyway. So I won anyway.
Sorry.
Okay.
And rotation battles.
Anyways, as I was saying, like even the official like Nintendo mediated Pokemon tournaments, they do doubles because doubles allows for more creative freedom in your team building. And so
I was like, this is dumb. Why is the fire type Elite Four not sending out a fire type?
well, I haven't bought the DLC, so I can't comment on that. But
No, it's for a good reason. Like
Yeah.
they're setting up Sunny Day and Trick Room, and I'm like, okay.
but like that's the whole reason Armarouge is so hated in the competitive scene right now. It's not because of what he can do in singles. It's because of the fact that he dominates doubles. You get an Indeedee in there to set up psychic terrain, and he's just spamming expanding forces with weak armor.
Also, the AI is a lot better in part 2. So like a lot better.
I keep stealing your spotlight, Oscar.
Oh, it's all good.
Basically, all that to say that I want double battles to be a more commonplace thing in main Pokemon. So the fact that you're telling me that makes me really happy, especially since all the starters can learn those pledge moves.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And they have those secondary effects that you never use because they're exclusive to double battles.
I thought the pledge moves only work if you also use fire, grass, and water or whatever.
So
outside of triple battles are basically like useless.
I looked into this recently because I saw someone do a Sceptile pledge build. The pledge moves, they can be used in single battle. Sam checking his phone because he doesn't care.
Not a Pokemon man.
Yeah, they can be used in single battles, and I think they actually got buffed from like 60 to 80 power.
Oh, it's actually not bad.
Yeah, but their main use is in double battles because when you use two of them side by side in double battles, they get a secondary effect, and it's actually really OP. Like grass and water pledge together, it doesn't have the opponent's speed. It quarters their speed. So tailwind like can't compensate.
Yeah.
I think fire and water pledge, it's basically serene grace for your entire team. Which for those who don't know, that like doubles the chance of secondary effects happening on moves. The least interesting one to me is grass and fire pledge, because that basically just puts chip damage on the opponent's side of the field. I'm getting super off track, but my point is that I think the mechanics there are super interesting, and I never get a chance to use them because main Pokemon only ever does single battles, despite their entire competitive being doubles.
Real.
So yeah,
Double should come. Like I love double battles.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I played SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Oh, actually.
Rehydrated. And I subsequently dropped it in favor of Penny's Big Breakaway. Because later I saw that and I was like, the excuse I've been waiting for to drop this game. I was like, because
playing that.
It's cool. It's not, well, I'm playing it because people are like, this is the best licensed game of all time. So I was like, well, we'll see if it lives up to the hype. But people literally have been like, don't play the remake. The remake is not as good as the original. And
That's
I was
wild.
like, yeah, I'm going to judge the remake based on the original. So I have the original on the PS2. So I'll go back and play. I literally was just like, sunk cost fallacy. I bought the remake. I'm going to play the remake.
Real.
But I bought the remake like years ago. So I was like, all right, I bought the remake. I'm going to play the remake. And I was like, this is all right. It's not really keeping me at my attention. So like, I don't know. Time is valuable. I don't have an unlimited amount of it, so I'm gonna play something else. Which I did. I eventually played Penny's Big Breakaway, which I talked about earlier in the podcast episode. Summary: I liked it. There's a lot of things that could iron out about it, but it is great. It is filled with Sonic Mania type-esque stuff. You will really, really like it if you love platformers. Please get it. If platformers, like if you're obsessed with platformers, you will love this game. You will love this game. If like you don't really like platformers, like if you're like, I would prefer to just play something else, but like I want to give platformers a shot, might not be the greatest game for you, but you know, well, I'll let people individually make that decision. So, and then I'm right now, as it's recording, I'm playing through Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, for real? Is it cooking?
They're cooking.
They're cooking?
They're cooking right
Okay.
now. So the thing about Banjo-Kazooie is, spoiler alert, I hate Mario 64. So I don't like Mario 64.
Wait, but didn't you get the collection with Super Mario Sunshine?
Yeah, which is crazy because I literally was like, wow, I don't like Mario 64 and I don't like Sunshine. I really hope when I finally play Galaxy that I don't hate Galaxy.
I know, right?
Is Galaxy one of the
I don't
best
think I will.
ones?
I think Galaxy
Well,
is pretty
that's
good.
To be
the
fair
most-
though, all three of those games are rated as like one of the best Mario
Are
games
they
ever.
though? Okay,
Yeah, no, they are. They
but
literally
64
are.
is just revolutionary because it was 3D.
Well,
Sunshine was everyone kind of agrees Sunshine is
I don't
barely
know.
not mid.
I don't know
It's
about
just like,
Sunshine,
it's
but
just outside
Galaxy's
mid.
like top 10.
Galaxy is everyone's
Galaxy's
top
top
5 though.
People literally still deride 64. They're just like, no, it's still as aged
It's
well,
not
bro.
that it's good. It's like you're 30.
no.
Chill out.
It's like,
Come on.
I personally didn't think it aged well.
It's all right.
You know,
The music is fun though.
music is fun. Like the level design is cool. It was a big step up for gaming.
And
This
again,
is
that's-
literally just a respect your elder situation.
Exactly.
But like, I don't know, man. I just don't like Mario 64.
I can
Bro's a
respect
hater.
my elders,
Like, no
but
play.
they're not right all the time.
Now, Banjo Kazooie.
I can't get it over
That's how
that.
you make a 3D
Let me know.
platformer on the N64. So first off, Banjo Kazooie, for many people who don't know, it basically made the collectathon genre.
Oh, actually?
Subgenre. Yeah, it did.
Dang.
So it made the collectathon subgenre, or I guess made it into what it is today. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if people want to say it's the first one, and some random game. Actually, Bimblo Scrimblow from 1942 is okay, dog.
Mm-hmm.
But like it basically popularized it. And the cool thing about Banjo-Kazooie is that you know a lot of it, the meat of its gameplay is in its moves, and a lot of its moves are very situational, which you may hear and be like, well, that doesn't sound like it's like a good recipe for good game design. Nerd emoji. And it's like, all right, well, shut up, nerd. It's fun. So, so I've gotten through 2 worlds now, and Banjo-Kazooie is just filled with so much charm. It's a blast to play through. It feels great to play through as well. The 360 version, a lot of people have said it's the definitive version to play, and I think it is. I think it just feels amazing playing it on the Xbox One right now. And like, yeah, I'm 2 worlds into it. I I feel like it's aged really well in terms of like how it controls. Like Banjo and Kazooie's moves, like each of their individual movesets are just like really fun to use. Yeah, I'm having a blast with it right now.
That's dope.
So hopefully next episode that we record, I'll be all finished and wrapped up with it.
And then you'll be on ukulele. You know, the definitive successor to Banjo Kazooie.
Actually,
Like we knew back in 2014.
Actually, if I want to put you on a game after that, I haven't played this game myself, but I hear there's a really good collectathon game called
Banjo Tooie. Yep, I'm playing that after.
I was gonna say it's called Corn Kids 64.
Oh,
I think I heard of that,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about it, but
Real.
from what I've seen, the platforming looks super fun. At the very least, the art style looks very similar to Banjo-Kazooie. It's on my wish list, and I'm going to pick it up eventually. So if ever you feel like you need that collectathon urge after playing the Banjo games, and you don't want to play nuts and bolts, because why would you? Check that out.
Yeah, I've never thought of myself as a huge collectathon person. The only games I've ever been like, I actually do want to collect everything is been the Sly Cooper games, which I'm replaying Sly 1 on my newly acquired Vita, but that's just a
Let's get it,
side
baby.
thing, so,
Finally joining the Vita clan. I'm telling
I'm
you.
part of the Vita
Let's
clan
go, baby.
now. But yeah, Banjo-Kazooie is awesome, and I want to leave us off before we move on to the others with a backlog review that I think really spoke to me, where it's like, I feel like every night Mario 64 wakes up in a cold sweat because it knows it will never be Banjo-Kazooie. And that I found to be really funny. Anyway, that's what I've been playing recently. So
Praise and raise.
For real.
yeah, my praise and raise. I'm going to throw my praise towards man, how many people have these things prepared right before it? I'm all right. I'm going to throw my praise towards nobody. I think nobody deserves it.
Gaming's bad.
What about me, Oscar?
Gaming is bad.
Do I deserve your praise?
Nope. You're on this podcast.
Nah.
We only have bad opinions out here, bro. You know this.
Actually, no. I'm going to throw my praise towards Nintendo because I think they had a really solid start to February. Everyone always has huge expectations for Directs. I didn't see too many of that this time. Except people being like, oh, hopefully they announce Hi-Fi Rush for Switch.
No
or something.
Smash?
So, yeah, it's like, where's Smash? Where's Metroid Prime 4? Where's Kid Icarus Sport? Where's... It's like, all right, dog.
Chill out.
But I think Nintendo did a really good job just setting the tone for 2024, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, those games they're probably going to be pretty solid. So, and I'm going to throw my raise towards Xbox. It's not a full-on raise, in my honest opinion. I feel like they tried their best to, present their vision. But if you just have any modicum of critical thinking skills, you will be like, this just doesn't sound right. So, yeah. So, that's what I got. All right. Who wants to go next?
I can go next, unless you want to go, Sam.
Either one's cool. You can go for it.
Okay. So you may or may not be able to tell what I've been playing recently, given what we've talked about on the podcast already. Pseudo Regalia, already talked about it earlier. It's super short. It's super cheap. It's only like $6-7.
Something like that on Steam.
And it's only like, yeah. It's only
on
like,
Steam?
It's on
Yeah.
Steam, yeah.
Okay.
It's only like $6-7. It's only like 6-7 hours long. It's definitely, I mean, I'm only halfway through, but I think eventually, this is the key word here is eventually. I want to make a video on it.
You should.
There's definitely like a video backlog I have right now, which maybe they'll come out eventually.
Summer.
After you graduate.
Summer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
After you graduate, summer. Just start cranking them out.
Yeah. Lobotomy Corp is coming first, and then I'm finishing everything
Don't
else.
tell them that's spoilers for the viewers.
I don't care at this point.
Edit out.
Exclusive link leaks only
There
on
we
the
go.
pause menu.
Exactly. Pseudo Regalia.
Yes, Pseudo Regalia. Yeah, movement's just good. It's good movement.
Movement.
And I'd recommend checking it out, especially since, like I said, super cheap
on Steam for
and
real.
super short.
The renaissance of 3D platformers in the indie space is so nice to see right now.
Yes. I feel like there was definitely a time where I feel like indies are slowly going this retro direction in the sense of like, oh, we're remember the pixel graphics, guys?
Yup.
And now
2013, 2014.
and now it's like, you guys remember the N64 look?
And then everyone's
like,
just like, then there was
I mean, low-key, throw some more of those my way.
Legit.
Hey,
Okay, but-
I was like, man, like, Penny's Big Breakaway, I mean, it kind of gives me like Dreamcast vibes.
Yeah.
So we should keep this
And
up.
there was like a surprising amount of like PS1 likes, especially like ones that are like first person shooters or movement shooters.
the Celeste sequel, looking very N64
Yeah,
like.
that's what I'm saying, dude. We're really in that era right now.
Yeah. I don't think Ultra Kill could run on a PlayStation 1, but it definitely has that low polygonal style to it.
You know.
Speaking of, I've been playing Ultra Kill, clearly. As I said,
Only for gamers. It's a real gamers game.
yeah. I P ranked everything in Act 1, which means that I got to see what was behind that door, and oh my goodness, you guys.
He's really gaming.
Yeah, no, you got to be a real gamer to face what's behind that door. That's the cringiest thing I've said all day.
That's so wild.
That is.
See, like,
cut that out.
I love how like you and Andrew just like are really going into this really deep in the story because like for me, once I beat the first layer and unlocks and like I went back to cyber grind and that's literally all I do in that game. Just cyber grind. Let's go.
I'm trying to 100% that game because I absolutely love it. The movement's amazing. I love the weapons you can get. I've been playing Cybergrind in my spare time too. Like, because what I find is, and maybe this is just because I'm bad, but Cybergrind is something that I can play in really short bursts.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like,
what I was using it for.
Yeah. So.
And then once you get into that once you get into the flow of it too, with the movement and the combat, it's just oof.
Yeah, apparently
something about that.
I don't know.
Give me some Skittles and some Mountain Dew. I'm in a different place.
Yeah. I haven't done this yet, but apparently you can upload your own music files.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, so you can play
You
can play
I love that.
whatever music you want in the Cybergrind.
Oh, that's dope. I love that.
But excuse me. Yeah. So P ranked everything. I saw what was behind the door. It was a really tough challenge. It took me several hours. Actually, it took me specifically 103 minutes according to the game's time.
Nice.
That's all I'll say about that. But Sam, have you P-ranked everything?
Nope, I did not. I did not care that much about the game.
Do you
to
know?
Do that.
Do you know what happens when you P-rank everything in an act?
Mm-mm.
I highly recommend you do.
But bro, I want to play the game and beat it. I want to finish the game. I already don't do that enough with my game.
Fair. Listen. All I'm gonna say is I thought it was worth it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But we finished games on the Pause Menu podcast. Just while everybody
asterisk.
That was just a joke that Sam he finishes his games. He finishes
triple asterisk.
Let me put it this way: you don't have to P rank everything to finish Ultra Kill. Don't think you do. Just know that if you do decide to, I think you're in for a very good time or a very frustrating time, depending on how you feel.
Fan telling me that I need to get all 3 endings in order to unlock the true ending.
Yeah, that's about it. Ultra Kill.
Praise and Raise? Question mark?
I'm thinking. Oh, one more thing. I 100%ed Super Mario Wonder.
Oh,
you did?
Baby.
Yeah,
Amazing game.
Yeah, I
was so surprised when you posted
sheer
the
whimsy
end credits because I was like, dude, like, I didn't know that you like haven't finished it before. So.
No, well, I had it as a Christmas gift, and I was playing it pretty consistently until until I picked up A Link to the Past. When I finished A Link to the Past, I went back to Mario Wonder, and I'm like, I gotta finish this, and then I did. Then I finished it. And I'm like, I got 100% this, and then I did.
There's also nothing to note. I also finished Super Mario Wonder recently. It's heat. So.
Yeah, it's so creative. It's so fun.
You should finish it, Sam.
Yeah, I gotta get on that. It's sheer whimsy in the game, but then I got distracted by like
Wowie zowie, as
other
the kids
stuff.
say.
Yeah.
But praise and raise. My praise. I mean, I was gonna say Pseudo Regalia, but I've talked about it way too much already. Yeah, it's still my praise. Pseudo Regalia. Check it out.
What's your race?
My raise. I was gonna say Xbox, but you took it already. So due to relevant
all
things,
dunk on Xbox, guys.
I mean, we basically kind of already been doing that.
Yeah.
We're just give the cherry on top we can.
Just because it's funny and for no other reason, I'm gonna say Crash Bandicoot.
It's so over. To be fair, though,
Oscar in shambles right now.
I didn't like Crash 1, so I was committed to it, but I was like, I'm not a fan of Crash 1, low-key.
That was my experience with Mega Man 1. I was like, bro,
I don't know, just normalize not liking games that you think are hard. If
Literally.
someone goes skill issue, be like, yeah, you're right. I'm bad at the
Exactly.
game, and because
That's what I'm
that,
saying.
I'm upset. Like,
Literally.
leave me be. Like, I was like, you know what? Am I
really
out
enjoying
of pocket
this?
for not liking DKC Returns because I think it's hard? No, I don't like DKC Returns because it's hard. Boom.
He said it is
Like,
literally just my own time.
It's a skill issue.
That's fair. That's fair.
Hi, Kelechi.
Yeah, go for it, Kelechi.
Oh, yeah. I've been playing Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
He's been playing
Game's gas.
peak.
Game is gas.
First off, you've gotten to Corsica, right?
Yeah, of course. Good. The whole lore is dope. Story's dope.
I don't know why you're high-fiving me. I haven't played
Peppermint's
the game.
hard. Macaroon. Everybody, the crew is tough. I like the story. How it's
Macaron.
Macaron, my bad.
Macaron's
Yeah,
the go.
Macaron.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love Macaron. I love the robots. I love every single interaction. Just talking to everybody.
I
the
cannot
game is
wait for you
gas.
to get like just Kale actually doing stuff because
Yeah.
they wrote the character interaction of that just amazingly. Honestly, it's so dope. So
There's a lot of good heartfelt moments in the game. It's literally only like 15 hours too.
That's not bad at all.
yeah, it's solid, and it's always constantly introducing new like techniques and stuff.
Yeah.
You've gotten to
All I needed was parry. That's like the parry
I
mechanics.
think there's something after parry too. So
Really?
yeah, there's something after parry. I think so.
Okay, well, I'll find
Well,
it.
you'll find
Yeah.
out. You'll find out. So
But no, I was like, damn, I'm bad at rhythm games. And I'm like, at the beginning of it, I was like, bro, why is it so annoying?
yeah, that's the one
And I haven't played it.
thing I don't like about Hi-Fi Rush is that sometimes like it doesn't actually let you fail. Like at the beginning, it tells you like, oh, like Chai will still hit his attacks on beat, but like you get the chance like obviously like you're ranked at the end of it, and like you'll see like, oh, you got a D in rhythm because like obviously you didn't time things up correctly. But, like, it won't actually like penalize you that much for it. I mean, except when you're fighting bosses. When you're fighting bosses, like if you miss something, like you're actually gonna get cooked for that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. No, I do like it. But then eventually, the moment I got parrying down, I was like, this game, it's over. But it's really good.
And everything is synced up to the beat. So
Yeah.
please play Hi-Fi Rush. It was the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
game I
for
beat this
real.
year. It was really, really good. I liked it a lot. So
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush.
and it's all thanks to this man. He got it for me.
Yeah, I got it for him for Christmas, and I'm really glad I did because clearly you love it.
Yeah. He was literally like, "This seems like your type of game, Oscar," and I was like, "Yes, it is."
Yeah,
So, bring it in.
it's a game that I've wanted to pick up for so long because it's like a game I always envisioned, and I'm like, it would be so cool if they just made a game centered around like timing attacks to music and stuff, and that's literally what Hi-Fi Rush is.
Yeah.
So it's
so good.
sitting on my wish list, just begging to be purchased, and it will be someday.
It was the great big surprise of 2023, honestly. So Xbox, they found themselves something really good.
That's what I'm saying.
with Hi-Fi Rush.
It's surprising how many like more rhythm-esque games are coming out now. There's at least two or three like FPSs that are all like rhythm-based games.
FPSs.
Yeah. Dude,
Wow.
BPM bullets per minute. That's an FPS. I think there's another game called. I'm thinking Helldiver, but that's not the game. But there's another game that I got the demo of where it's like you're literally like a half demon dude going into hell, and it's all like a lot of
Unicorn
melee based.
Overlord. Speaking of, we didn't even talk about
Gotta
that.
get on that.
Unicorn Overlord is. I'm also very excited for that game too. So.
I'm in so vanilla world pilled. I pre-ordered that game post haste, the deluxe
I don't know if
edition.
I'm
Don't
gonna-
even get me on that. It's gonna be great. But like, yeah, there's a lot of really good like rhythm based like indies coming out. So if
You
want,
might have to
that's-
put me on some of those.
Yeah, I got you, bro. And then we'll get you on some real indie, some real rhythm games. It's got Taiko no Tatsujin. I'm telling you, we'll get there. But keep going.
But yeah, that's it. That's what. I'm about to literally finish it tomorrow, probably.
Let's go,
That's
baby.
what's up.
Probably dabble in Helldivers too soon.
Yes,
so,
please. You, me, and Christian's gonna make 3.
Yeah, about to grind that game out. But praise and raise. Praise will probably be. I've been starting to dabble in more RPGs, man. I've been found my love
Praise
for
some
RPGs again,
Yeah,
man.
that's what's up. That's what's up.
I've been looking at some JRPGs. There's a couple ones I sent in Discord.
What JRPGs do you think are really sticking out to you right now?
I forget its name, bro, but I sent it in Discord maybe like last week, and I was like, "This is gas." I tagged Sam.
I
in
know
a
what you
couple
mean. Pokemon.
Let's see if I can find
Let me
it.
see. I was
Yeah.
about to say it.
it's above.
I know what you're talking about now. I don't know the name
There's a
of it, but I remember
couple.
you sending
I
it.
saw it on Steam one day, and I was like, "Bro, I'm just gonna go to YouTube and tag it if you can
Yeah.
find it."
I hear you.
Say the name, but I've been looking at. I'm like, bro, I might get a couple of these. So, yeah, I've been looking at those. So, just that's my praise, okay.
Is it? Wait, no, that's not a game. I was looking. I was about to be like, is it presentation standpoint?
But yeah, raise. Yeah, I'm don't really have a raise for real this week. I'm probably
Being generous. All right, okay, that's what's
yeah,
up.
no raise
That's what's up.
this
Real.
week.
Yeah. All right, Sam, what you got?
So I've been playing a lot of Pacific Drive, and my goodness, the vibes on that game. So if you don't know, Pacific Drive is basic premise. It's all first person. You're this dude who's driving up this side of the mountain for I think you're going to some facility to do some routine checks. You get slurped into a portal. You're on the other side of these mountains, and reality is inherently unstable. You got rocks floating. You got pieces of land growing and shrinking. You've got weird aberrations floating around here and there, and there are these people over the radio trying to help you figure out what's going on. And the entire time, the majority of the game, you're in this car. And what's interesting about this car is apparently it's part of a series of artifacts called remnants, which are things that were based on the nature of the radiation in this area aren't affected by it, but because they bond with whoever comes in contact with them, they slowly drive them insane. So the whole premise of the game is a lot of resource management. It's really a survival horror where you're in a car, where it's you're going around to these different spots. You'll have different missions to unlock different things or get different resources, and along the way you gotta make sure you have enough gas. You have to siphon gas out of broken down cars out there. You'll have to get a bunch of different materials to unlock and build different parts for your car. You have to avoid different enemies. There's different types that'll do different things to your car, drive it off or move it into other obstacles. And if your car gets damaged, then it actually affects the way you drive. And I'm loving playing this on PS5 because your brake and your gas are mapped to the triggers, and it actually increases the resistance on the triggers as you press them, you're actually pushing your gas pedal.
That's so
cool.
So
it's it's I don't think it's super long. I think it's probably about 20-ish hours. I'm 11 in right now, and a good chunk of that was just me kind of exploring. But I'm really, really loving the game. It's it's perfect to sit down and put on a podcast, especially horror podcast, listen to Old Gods of Appalachia. It's just loving Pacific Drive so far. I picked up on, you guys saw yesterday if you were at my house, I picked up that new Silent Hill free game demo thing they dropped.
Yeah. You were laughing at that.
Unfortunately so. They were really, they were trying really hard to hit on the themes of depression and self-harm and stuff like that. It felt really on the nose to me. There wasn't really a build-up into that. It was just, you're clearly in the mind of this girl and she's really stressed about stuff, and it's all hitting it. I made the comparison. It felt like I was playing 13 Reasons, and it was just okay, I want to be immersed in a story about someone's personal struggle, but it didn't really feel like it was getting to that for me, or it was presenting it in a way that drew me in as much as kind of bludgeoned me with the message it was trying to hit. So we'll see. I'll probably finish it sometime this week, as alongside Pacific Drive, and then we'll see how I feel about it. But other than that, I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire because I'm finally trying on other characters. I spent a lot of time doing Silent and the Automaton, and I finally got a win with Ironclad. That felt really, really good. Pro tip, one of my favorite strategies, if you can ever make it work, is in the game you can both attack enemies and get blocks so that way you don't take damage. And there's 3 cards with you can get with the Ironclad that'll do a thing where, one, your block doesn't disappear in between turns. You can get another card that'll double your block. Then you get another card that will have you deal damage equal to your block to any enemy. And so what you can just do is you can just turtle up, get once you get your block doesn't disappear between turns up, you just have a bunch of cards to build up block, and then you can just one shot anything in the game, and it's so funny. That was
that actually sounds fun.
It is. See, it's hard to pull off because you need to get those cards, and if you get one of them, you're all right, I'm really banking on this run giving me the other 2, and if this run doesn't give them to me, it's basically a dead card. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Well, if you can get all 3 in succession, it's so funny. So I've been doing a lot of that, and I'm really trying to knock out at least Pacific Drive this week because this is the end of February, because March is just going to be Dragon's Dogma. I'm replaying Dragon's Dogma so I can play Dragon's Dogma 2. That's going to be all of my March and most of my April. Dragon's Dogma 1 and Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm so ready for these games where you have no idea.
I can feel myself making a shift towards RPG soon. So
RPG hitting, man.
I might finally actually capitalize on my copy of Dragon's Dogma.
Me too.
Listen,
we should all.
So I'm saying it takes a little bit to jump in for real because it the start is a little slow, but they have you doing action combat out the gate. It's really fun, and once you get into the story is actually surprisingly decent. Has a decent amount of questions, and it's very Berserk inspired. So if you like Berserk, you'll see a ton of parallels in the characters and in the story overall. Yes, very Berk. As far as my praise and raise, praise has to go to Itsuno, the director of Dragon's Dogma and Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm really, really loving that he's finally getting out. He's finally getting to realize a lot of the dreams he had for the first game in the second game. I like seeing like the first trailer and just the fact that they're like expanding so many world building bits already. We're getting a whole other class. We're getting so much more like stuff you can do in the world. I'm like, ugh, dude is going crazy right now. I really love to see it. So I'm really, really happy for that. Looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2. That game's going to be amazing. Looking forward to whatever else we're going to see from Capcom this year, because this is going to be the year that we're going to get something else about Monster Hunter. I really hope it's like an anniversary game. But yeah, that's the big praise for me. As far as a raise, honestly, I'm just going to throw it at gaming journalism, just because like I feel like we don't have a lot of good gaming journalism. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of people that talk about games.
Oh man.
We have a lot of people that might like give an opinion on games. We don't have a lot of like strict journalism about like really the industry and what stuff like that means for us. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird.
I heard you. I got to fill in the void. So
it's just like it's crazy because like this is a medium of art that's been around for a decent amount of time. But every other medium, whether that's film, whether that's like books, whether it's like whatever it is, has way more actual journalism going on than gaming does. And I think that definitely needs to change.
Because gamers can't read.
And also gamers don't know how to interpret the environment unless you put yellow paint on everything. So
yeah, I mean that just really irks me, because there was of course a recent story where it's like the PS5 is entering its latter years, and so many people interpreted it because so many different gaming journalists were just like, oh, this means that Sony's coming out with the PS6 soon, they're killing off the PS5, the PS5 is dying, when literally it was like, so first off, it's been 4 years since the PS5 dropped. A console normally lasts for 8 years.
Literally.
That means it is quite literally by definition entering its
That's like
years.
me being 26 saying I'm getting out of my mid-20s and you thinking, he's turning 30 tomorrow. No.
Yeah, like it's wild because so many people misinterpreted even their shareholders meme where they're just like, yeah, PS5 is selling pretty good. It'll probably slow down because like that's been the trend for the past like 5 PS consoles.
Literally.
And yeah, we're still gonna keep trying to release games. Like that's it. So, but yeah. All right.
Good times.
So, looks like we reached the end of the episode. You guys want to give your socials and share out some places where the people can find you?
Me first. Okay. Well, I still only got the one. Still Sparkle on YouTube. Still haven't posted anything. Hoping maybe in the next, before the year is over, I'll
June.
have.
I'm telling you, June. June's gonna be the month.
Don't give them a release date.
June's gonna be the month.
Don't give them a release date.
It's gonna be June.
Don't give them a release date.
It's gonna be June, bro.
No,
we're locking in. We're locking in for June, bro.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. I will have a video out June or earlier.
There we go.
2-second crap post.
I will have a quality video out June or earlier.
Dang it. Well, now you just condemned yourself.
There we go. See?
I'm halfway done. I think I'm halfway done with the Lobotomy Corp video. It's very different from what I normally make. It's not me talking about my thoughts on the game as much as it is just me messing around with friends. It was supposed to be a interim video for Halloween 2023 because I hadn't posted in so long. But clearly that didn't hit that deadline.
Real.
Which is why I never talked about it until now. But now it has another deadline.
There you go. So by June.
Yes.
And we can find you at Sparkle on YouTube?
Yes.
SPARPL?
Yes.
There we go. See, I should be your manager.
I mean, hey, if you want to give me deadlines.
See, easy. Let's get it, baby. Where can we find you, Kelechi?
Best place is Instagram. It's just KCOKECHUKW number 2.
One day you gotta just say that. They gotta get used to saying Nigerian names, bro.
Yeah. It's a long one.
Okay, you can find me at Pick Up the Sword on Instagram. Like I said, everything that's on there is just me and my girlfriend. So, shout out Abby. Love her. She's the reason I got this hoodie on today. Let's get it, baby. Made it herself. So give her a shout out.
Scarlet
That's
Letter.
hard. That's really hard.
All right, and y'all can find me at 3rd000. I'm currently locked out of my Twitter account, which might be a
Let's
blessing
go,
in disguise.
baby.
But that's my Twitter. But you can also find me as well at my Instagram, which is 00003. So, pics of the life. If you want to swallow, you can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for tuning into the Pause Menu podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
a pleasure
Yeah.
discussing games with you. And go out there, do something great, and play some games.
Yep.
So,
Turn off the car and get out. I know you just got off work. Go inside, clean your room, take a shower, play some games.
play some games.
Also get dinner. You deserve it.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We will see you all in the next episode.
Peace.
Bye-bye.